And I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, he's a good deer. And like he was like kind of side profile. Now and I grunted a little bit, and he like whipped his head around and like looked at me, and I saw his beams. He was like kind of quartered towards me with his beams coming out. I was like, oh, I'm killing that deer. Like he went from like, I don't really know, like, oh, I'm killing that deer. And dude, heart race was through the roof, dude. I was like, oh, he's 8 point, and like, dude, my heart is just pounding. I'm on the ground slipping. I'm like, dude, this is killer.
All right, everybody, we got a lot of ground to cover today. We're going to do some Q&As, but we're going to keep them quick because, man, we got a bunch of hunts to talk about. We got the Hunt Kitchen with us, Thomas Myers with the mustache.
Growing it out.
Dude, is it because we made fun of you for not having a beard?
That's right. And did an Arkansas hunt, so I had to grow it up for that little rut stash.
You really can't grow a beard? I feel like there's a little shadow. I feel like
I could, but it might just not come in for a while.
Well, dude, listen. You got to pay your dues.
That's right.
It's going to be awkward for a little bit. You just got to let it grow out, man.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So you had a great hunt. Jacob, you had a great hunt?
Yeah, man, it was awesome.
Arkansas.
It was sweet.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Hunting in Arkansas, hunting in Alabama, feed trees, pre-rut, a lot of stuff to cover. So we're going to hit some Q&As first. First up, we got Alex Peterson from Tennessee. The subject is feed tree window of opportunity.
Hey guys, Alex Peterson from Tennessee here. Love the podcast. I've been listening for a couple of years now and have learned a lot. I had a quick question for you guys on feed trees. If you had any experience or insight into how quickly deer will tire of one particular feed tree, or how long one particular feed tree will stay hot. I think you've touched on this a couple of times, but I'm in an interesting situation right now. I hunted one little group of 2 mature white oaks last weekend, raining down, a little bit of scat under them, didn't see anything. A few days later, 6 deer on that exact spot at the same time on my trail camera. And then there's another spot I came across walking out closer toward a field edge, just tucked right inside the field edge, 3 mature white oaks, raining down, ground super tilled up, 2 giant piles of scat that was so fresh it was shiny, a nice rub on the edge of the field about 20 yards from there that was still dripping resin and shavings on the ground. So I'm like, man, this is the spot. This is where I need to be. This is the tree they want right now. But I've been so busy with work, I haven't been able to get back out there, and by the time I do, it will have been a good solid week. So I'm curious, is it possible that the deer have just gotten tired of that tree, gotten bored with it, and moved on to the next one? Or is there maybe a bigger window where I should get back out and hunt that spot, let's say early next week? Appreciate the time, and again, love the show. Thanks, guys.
All right, Thomas, what do you think?
Well, I don't have a lot of experience hunting feed trees, but last year I did run cameras on 2 white oaks, mature white oaks. And I want to say it was about a 2-week span where does especially were hitting them, and then they kind of like moved off. So I don't know, probably like a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's real situation dependent. I will say this past week, since Alabama opened on the 15th, I've been hunting in particular this one string of white oaks through this bottom. And I found it. I found this particular spot on the 16th of October, and today is the 27th.
Yep.
It's the 27th. It's still hot right now.
Yeah.
They're in there every single day, and we've had every hunt we've done in there. Me or Mike, settle down there.
Fly out of his chair.
He's about to jump out of his chair. Every hunt we've had in there, including yesterday, we've seen deer. But it's not just one tree. It's like a string of trees going through there. But anyways, we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. All right, go.
No, but that's what I was going to ask is, what is it, an individual tree or string of trees or a group of trees? Because like guys like our buddy Greg Maher, who's like huge feed tree guy over in South Carolina, Georgia area, That's what he talks about. He's like, one tree, he's like, you find a hot tree one week and you go back the next week and it's probably not going to be hot. But if there's more trees around it that they can just shift to, and like, there's trees within 50 to 100 yards, that sign should stay in there if they're all starting to drop and they're not all dropping at the exact same time frame. And that's what I was going to mention. So if it's a cluster of trees, you might have a little bit longer window of time versus like one individual tree, unless it is like a gigantic, at least what I've seen, water oak or live oak. Like one of those mega giant trees that has so many acorns on it that it's just dropping for maybe a couple weeks at a time. There's one down at Emmy's grandparents' house that her dad, they were just going back down there and it was still dropping. It's been 3 weeks since it started dropping. It was like acorns loaded on the ground, and then still 3 weeks later, it's still constantly dropping.
Yeah, the one caveat to that too is it is a bumper year for a lot of us across the Southeast. So one tree could drop for a little bit longer. I found a white oak last night. It was only about that big around. I mean, not even as big around as a basketball. And I mean, it was just like you'd break your ankle under it. I mean, it's like marbles under there.
Yeah.
And I was like, and there was fresh droppings everywhere. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and climb. So I climbed up, hunted it. And when I was sitting in the tree, I was looking up into the canopy of that white oak, and it was still just loaded. I mean, loaded. I'm like, dude, this thing should be dropping for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And so that's a caveat. The other thing I would say, and again, we're going to talk about this more later because I got an opportunity at a buck this week doing this. If that's the best, spot that you have, even if you only are going to hunt it a week later, I would still go hunt that in the morning, and rather than go and sit somewhere blind. So, like if you found it on Saturday and you can't hunt it till the following Saturday, I would still go hunt that spot for a morning hunt, and then when you get up and leave, if you don't shoot anything, scout around and try to figure out where they're going to next. So.
That's very good advice.
Thanks, man. I'm full of good advice. All right, let's see. This one is from Jordan Dorsey, also from Tennessee. Subject is bumper crop year.
All right, guys. I am struggling this year pretty hard. And I haven't had time to really get out and scout much. We moved to a different part of the state. I'm here in Tennessee. I hunt a pretty reputable big WMA. I always have problems with bumper crop years. There's acorns everywhere. And this property is probably, I'd say, like 80 to 90% hardwoods. And no matter where you go, there's acorns on the ground, and you're slipping on them everywhere. Everywhere's about like that. Just acorns. My tactic has been to hunt terrain. So I'm trying to find a new technique here for bumper crop years, hunting mostly hardwoods. There's a couple clear cuts, but they were done in 2023, 2024. And so they're kind of thick, but I mean, you could walk through one of them. I mean, and the other one, you can, it's not even chest high. But yeah, I mean, any advice, any tips, tactics would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for all y'all do. Like I say, I've learned a lot from y'all's channel. I'll drop a picture too, just to kind of give y'all a reference as to where I'm at. But yeah, y'all have a good season.
So I was at the Mobile Hunters Expo this year in Dalton, Georgia, and I was talking to a guy who we actually want to have on the show, Dylan Harper. He's a bear hunter in North Georgia, and he actually just killed a nice bear, but we want to have him on. He was just on the Mobile Hunter podcast recently, but me and him were talking about it being a bumper year like this, and he hunts North Georgia mountains. It's all hardwoods, and he made a really good point that kind of stuck with me that I think applies in this situation, and he was saying that on the bumper crop years, the deer, or the bears for that matter, can be where they really want to be rather than where they have to be. So they're not beholden to the crop to like go to a certain area to feed on it or anything. There's food everywhere. So you can almost just take that out of the equation for right now and say, okay, what about cover, water? Like, what are the other limiting factors? And then maybe try to locate the feed around those other limiting factors. Like you mentioned, some clear cuts. They might be in those, they might not. I would check them out. But it might be terrain features like terrain that sets up good for bedding. Are there really steep slopes on the place? Are there little briar vine thickets? Are there old home places on that WMA that have like grown up areas where a house used to be? Like anything like that, I would focus more on that and then try to find the food source as it relates to that, rather than try to find the food source first, if that makes sense. Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd think the exact same thing as far as getting closer to the bedding or water source, because like you're saying, there's food everywhere. So they don't really have to go far from their bedding areas or the thick cover. So yeah.
Yeah, habitat diversity be the number one thing, which I mean, just rehashing that. Also, I'd look for storm damage. Like, again, we had some pretty nasty storms this spring. It might have blown down some trees. Or in years past, if you can find one of those hills, those slopes on one of those hills that's got storm damage or there's down trees, that is a habitat edge. That is that's different habitat diversity from all the open timber around it, and that could be one of the spots outside of your clear cuts. And those are hard to find. If it's a big straight line wind, you might find it on aerial imagery. Like on X, but more than likely you just have to walk and you try to go find stuff, especially any kind of western facing slopes where a big thunderstorm rolls in and just blew down a bunch of trees on that western slope. Check those out and see if you can find anything like that, because that could be a honey hole where there's great cover, there's food everywhere, maybe it's adjacent to some water, and it's a spot that a buck and other deer would probably want to hang out in, and it's not every hunter's going to find it just looking on aerial imagery necessarily.
Yeah. Also, like on the club I've been hunting so far this year, I only scouted it like 2 or 3 times this summer, maybe. And so going into this opening day, I really didn't. I hadn't scouted since midsummer, and so I went out the Friday or the day before opening day, and I just scouted around just like a little area. I only had like an hour right before dark, so I went scouted out, kind of went in blind a little bit, went in, found something decent, and then so Saturday, or no, it wasn't Saturday because we opened on Tuesday. So that next morning, opening morning, I hunted the best thing that I found the day before scouting. And then when I got down, kind of like I was saying before, I scouted around, found a better spot, and then just kind of like rolled with that. So I would just keep scouting in season and just keep looking around. And if you haven't, like if you're going to hunt a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I would maybe try to get out Friday afternoon if you can, scout around. Maybe you don't find something super great. Maybe you find something decent. I'd sit on it Saturday morning just to see, and then scout midday Saturday, hunt Saturday afternoon, and so on and so forth. That would be my advice. It worked for me, so I've been all over the deer. So, all right, we're only going to do those 2 right now because we got some ground to cover, boys. We got some ground to cover. All right, how do we want to kick this off? How do we want to start?
Well, your exciting hunt happened while we were on the trip, right? With that buck?
I think so. What day did y'all leave?
We left on the Sunday.
The 20th?
Yep.
I'm gonna look at it real quick. Yeah, we left on the 19th.
Okay.
That's this past Sunday.
Okay, yeah, because I think it was the 20th that happened. Well, anyway, so yeah, like I was saying before, I went out and I found some feed trees. Scott Seals hunted out there.
That's right, because we could have doubled on the 20th. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Or not triple.
No.
Double. Dang.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. So anyways, we went out and Scott hunted that weekend. I'd hunted a little bit, and one thing Scott, he was texting me about, he's like, hey, it seems like I hadn't really found a white oak that was dropping good yet. He texted me, he's like, hey, it seems like the white oaks that are about the size of a basketball are the ones that are dropping. The real big white oaks aren't dropping yet, red oaks aren't dropping yet, but those white oaks that are like the size of a basketball, the leaves are starting to just barely turn brown on the ends. Those are the ones that are dropping. And so I thought about this spot, and I'm like, well, I found a spot this summer, midsummer, when me and Mike were scouting around, where you walk through this one grove of oak trees, and they're like giant oak trees, like huge oaks, big white oaks. And then the creek goes down and makes a bend, and right past that bend, there's another grove of white oaks, but they're all about the size of basketballs. So I'm like, okay, I'll walk in tomorrow morning in the dark and just check them in the dark with a headlamp. So I walk past all the big giant ones, don't see any feed sign there, and then I get to the other one, and I get to the grove of white oaks that are about the size of basketballs, and sure enough, I mean, they're just like raining in the dark, droppings. There's like 15 piles of fresh droppings under. I was like, oh, I'm gonna kill something this morning. I'm so excited. So I jack up the tree.
Was it what's Greg call it?
Mutotolated?
Mutotolated? Was it quite mutotolated?
No, it wasn't quite mutotolated.
Okay.
But it was good. I mean, it was definitely, it got me excited.
Okay.
I think it had just started dropping and they didn't have time to tear it up yet.
Yeah.
And actually, I take everything I just said back. I missed the mutotolated part in the dark.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I climb up and I'm hunting. And long story short, a doe walks in at like 9 a.m. First deer I'd seen. Wind swirls. She busts me, runs away. I'm like, great. So I sit till 10. 3 more does come in. Wind swirls. They bust me, run away. I'm like, great. All these deer are a lot smarter now. So I get down, and when I'm starting to leave, I find the mutilated part.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was within bow range of me. I just walked right past it, and there's rubs.
In recurve range?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there was a bunch of sparkleberry down there.
Oh.
And under that sparkleberry, dude, it was like rub, scrape. Just sign, dude, everywhere, sign.
Yeah.
I mean, the dirt was tilled up and everything. And I put it on our Instagram story, and someone was like, I thought that was a hiking trail. So I was like, I'm coming back here. And I can't remember what day that was now, but I couldn't hunt for like the next 3 or 4 days.
I think that was on Friday because like you couldn't hunt Saturday. Sunday, you're like, maybe I'm gonna hunt, and you made a point that you're gonna come hunt it later, and we had comments on YouTube or on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were like, dude, you can't wait a week, and like it ain't gonna be right. And you're talking about go back in on Monday to go hunt there.
Yeah, so what I learned about that spot was because it's in one of those tight little SMCs, if the wind gusts at all, it kicks really hard. So I was looking at the weather forecast, and I was like, these next 2 or 3 days, like I don't think I might get lucky and have it swirl my way where I can get a shot. But I'm like, I looked at Monday. I was like, well, if it just swirls on Monday, or I mean, if I just wait till Monday, it's like a dead calm day on Monday morning.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just wait until Monday to go in there. And yeah, people commented, they're like, it's gonna be over with.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, dude. Just the amount of feed in there was silly. It was crazy. So I waited till Monday. That's the nice thing about doing what we do is I could just work on Saturday and hunt on Monday.
Yeah.
And then I get to avoid everybody on the club on Saturday. So I wait till Monday, go in there Monday. I'd already picked out my tree. It was like this little maple tree, bunch of cover around it. And I climb up before daylight, and it's like 8:30, and I'm sitting in the saddle, and I just kind of like look to my right behind me where I came from, and I just see legs coming through the brush. I was like, oh, here we go. So I start getting turned, and then I see the head. He pops his head up. And I mean, it's like a nice buck. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a nice buck. And dude, he's coming on that trail that someone thought was a hiking trail. And there's like a big gap at like 10 yards. I was like, you're about to die, but I'm so excited.
You're hunting with a recurve too.
I'm hunting with a recurve. So, yeah, I mean, he's coming. I get turned. I get ready. I'm like, this is it, bro.
It's like whose first buck or first deer with a recurve is a nice buck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like statistically, I don't think that
He definitely would have been a top 5 for me. He was definitely bigger than that deer, and he was probably bigger than that deer.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure he was bigger than that deer too. But anyways,
So
so
the doe was dead too. Like you were gonna shoot doe or a buck.
I was gonna shoot any
legal
deer. I mean, if a squirrel got too close, I was gonna fling it, bro. So he's coming, and he gets in my gap, and I'm like already ready for him. I come to full draw, and I release, and I mean, as soon as I release, it's like whoop, pop, and he jumps and he kicks the arrow with his hoof, and the arrow flies up in the air. I was like, oh, I smoked him. I let the bow down. I was like, oh, I got him. And he runs up the hill, and he stops, and he just starts looking around. He's like 18 yards from me now. Like he just bounded a couple times and runs up there, and he's like looking around. And I'm like, oh, he's about to start teetering. And he just keeps standing there looking around. And I was like, that's not looking good. And he takes 2 or 3 more steps, and he's just looking. And then I hear another deer coming, and another deer walks up to him. And he's just like sitting there socializing with that deer. I'm like, I just missed him. Clean. And he like started licking himself and everything and looking around. And then I think he even reached down and ate something. And then he just turned around and walked off into the pines. He was there for like, I drew back on him 6 more times. I'm not kidding you. Like there was just so much stuff in the way. And now he's up on the hill, and he's like,
how far?
He's 18 yards. Oh! He's still in recurve range.
It's just so much stuff.
There's just so much stuff, dude.
Yeah.
And I was leaning this way, and I'd get to full draw and be like, oh no, don't do that. I'd lean this way and I'd get to full draw again. Cause like, dude, he can't see me at all. I'm like leaning like this, and he just walks off. I'm like, I can't believe that just happened. And I'm like looking down, and I find my arrow where my arrows land, and they're those, they're Black Eagle traditional, like vintage or whatever you call them. So they're painted to look like wood, so they're yellow. I can see my arrow right there, and it is bright yellow. I was like, oh, there's no blood on that arrow. Crap. And before I get down, I carry those little judo points with me that you can just shoot into the ground. And so I'm like, let me get turned and see what happened here. So I pick out a leaf right where he was standing, and I get turned the exact same way, and I draw the exact same way and shoot at the leaf. And sure enough, I'm right and low. And when I climb down there, there's just a big old pile of hair right where he was standing. The broadhead's all mangled. No hair on the broadhead, no blood on the arrow whatsoever. 0 blood. I can see his tracks where he bounded up the hill. Like, I just gave him a haircut. And so what I think happened is because all the other hunts I'd gone on at this point in Georgia and in Alabama, whenever I shoot that judo point, I shoot it every single time I'm about to get out of the tree, just so I can practice more shooting out of the saddle in like an actual hunting situation. And up to that point, I'd been like 10 ringing them. I've been hitting the leaf I'm aiming at 20 yards. I'm like, oh, I'm deadly. Well, I think with it being offside and the way I had my hips with a recurve, at least the way that I've been learning to shoot it, it's all about alignment. So you got to be aligned with like your hips and your shoulders and everything.
I wonder if you were short stroking it too, because you couldn't get your shoulder pivoted all the way.
No,
were you more squared up, or could you like actually turn around?
No, I was turned around.
Okay,
but I think I was just hinged a weird way or something. I don't know exactly what it was, but the fact that I missed the same way when I practice shot, I'm like, I think it had to be my alignment somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah. But the funny thing is, like, I really wasn't even upset about it. I was like, oh man, like it didn't bother me because it was just, I don't know, the recurve's just fun. Like I'm not, it's not overly serious. I'm just like, that was just fun. Like I feel like I'm just a kid again hunting. Dude. Until I laid down to go to sleep that night.
No, I talked to you and you're like, dude, I could have smoked him with the compound.
Oh yeah, I could have smoked. Dude, he'd have been, I'd have his rack right here if it was the compound. I mean, it was just like, chip shot, 10 yards wide open. Had no idea I was there.
That's fun.
So did you twist to your right with your saddle, or were you swinging?
Yeah, so I went up and over the bridge.
Yeah.
I wanted to stand up on my platform and turn around, but by the time I saw him, he was pretty close.
He was too close, yeah.
I had enough cover, I could have done it, but I was just, I don't know, I was too nervous to try to do it.
Yeah.
So I just went over the bridge, and that's probably what got me.
Something every deer hunter gets excited about is when a cold front's pushing through. And one thing that Onyx Hunt just released that I'm really excited about is their new weather feature built into the app. What it allows you to do is be able to scroll throughout all your pins, whether it's in the same state, same county, or across the country, and get accurate weather data directly from that pin location with the closest weather station. This eliminates the need for multiple apps. Also, it has barometric pressure, but one other thing is it has accurate moon data. So for the guys that like hunting moon phase, moon positioning, all that kind of stuff, it shows all that in the app as well. So all you moon phase guys, moon positioning guys, we got you covered. So now Onyx Hunt is your one-stop shop for whitetail hunting, getting all the accurate information that you need, whether it's mapping, weather, looking at trail camera data, and so on. It's a one-stop shop for you. So if you want to try Onyx Hunt this fall, you can use the code SOUTHERN to save on your membership. Know where you stand with Onyx Hunt. There's more of you guys getting into saddle hunting than ever before, and a common question we always get is how do you get comfortable in a saddle, because there's so many moving parts. And today I'm going to give you 3 of the best tips that I have for getting comfortable in the saddle after doing this for about 8.5 years. Number 1 is tether height. Setting your tether at the right height is going to give you extreme comfort, but this is one big reason why you need to practice with it. I like mine right at nose level when I'm standing on the platform. The other is your bridge length. Having an adjustable bridge on your saddle makes it extremely comfortable to fine-tune that comfort, and I like mine extended out almost all the way. The third is how you sit in your saddle. Some people like the saddle sitting just below the belt line, which I've done in some saddles in the past. That made it more comfortable. Some are right at the belt line, and some are a little bit above the belt line. Now, having a very comfortable saddle makes it really easy to do all this stuff with less adjustment. And the Lone Star saddle from Latitude Outdoors is that saddle for me personally. I really like this saddle, and I really like the hip pinch reduction system that's built into the saddle that gives me a lot more comfort all day long with less adjustments needed. If you want to check out the Lone Star saddle from Latitude Outdoors, you can go to latitudeoutdoors.com for more information. So on the podcast, y'all hear us talk all the time about finding overlooked spots, especially when you're hunting a hunting club or public land. But what about when you're in the market to buy property and you're trying to find something that's overlooked that not everybody has access to? And that's when trying to find a property that's offline comes into a huge factor, and having an agent that can help you do that, like Slade Johnson. So Slade, what is a overlooked or off-market property, and why would somebody want to try to purchase something like that versus what's available to everybody online?
Yeah, so what I've seen with real estate is there's a lot of properties and landowners that are are willing to sell, but they don't want to list their property, especially the really nice tracts that maybe they don't want people to know what kind of deer they have on their property. So it's kind of just word of mouth through agents. And what I've done is really build a database of offline tracts that can be bought in the Southeast. Obviously, Alabama is my core area, but whether that's Tennessee, Mississippi, Georgia, we've got landowners that have property that can be bought. So if you're looking for something that's special, it's a good chance we can help you find it before it hits the market.
Yeah, if you want to, have the opportunity to kill really world-class deer, but deer you would probably go to Iowa and Kansas to go and hunt. You can actually find it in Deep South, and Slade actually just showed us a property that is off market, but they are killing giant deer every single year. So it is possible for everybody. So if y'all have any questions, you can, of course, reach out to Slade. Slade, how would someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best way is probably just give me a call. My number's 205-499-3858. I know we put our number everywhere nowadays, but just let me know if you're looking for something. And that also equates to selling. If you got a property you want to sell, I've got a list of buyers that are looking for tracks. So maybe we can sell it before it hits the market. So we can help you on both sides.
So if you're in the market to buy or sell property, you can reach out to our buddy Slade Johnson with Tut Lane Company. How hard is it to get the recurve? Because how long is your recurve? 62 inches?
No, it's like 50 something. It's
But
like 52.
How hard is that to go over the bridge, just being that long compared to?
It's not really that hard. It's kind of hard to explain. I was actually thinking about that because a compound bow, like the Halon, is basically a rectangle, right? Because it's got the parallel limbs. And so it's more of an awkward shape to deal with in the tree. But that little K-Mag, the 52-inch recurve, I think because of the way it's shaped, it's actually pretty easy to maneuver up in the tree. Because I can, I'm not going to hit any limbs or anything. I can kind of dip it underneath.
It's almost like a freaking spear up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it'd be a much bigger problem than it was, but it actually wasn't hard. But yeah, if I had gone up under the bridge and stood up, I probably would have got him. But I think that's what it was. I just hadn't practiced that shot a ton.
I was going to say, if you got away with moving that long bow over the top like that, I feel like maybe you could have got away with her.
Oh, actually, the reason that I didn't do it is because the maple I was in wasn't that big around.
Oh, shaking.
Yeah, and I was afraid I was going to shake the whole tree. And he was so close. I was like, I can just do this. I get him. Didn't get him. Didn't.
But the good thing is you got him on camera, a couple of days afterwards?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he's fine. He's totally fine.
What time?
He didn't. It was like 8:30 in the morning. When I mean, the good thing too is he's still in that area. He's still walking around in there because he doesn't know what happened. He had no idea. He never saw me, never smelled me, or anything like that. So yeah. After that, I mean, I've hunted a bunch more times, and I've seen deer. You'll find this interesting. I've hunted mostly mornings. I've only hunted 2 afternoons. I've seen deer on every single morning hunt. I've seen no deer on either of my afternoon hunts.
That's what I'm talking about, boy. Listen, I hear people all the time like, man, don't hunt mornings in October or early season. I feel like I see way more deer in the mornings than the evenings. But then again, we've had guys on that completely disagree. But like our buddy Greg May here that I talked about earlier, hunting feed trees both in South Carolina and Georgia, he's like, they kill a lot of their really good bucks on morning sits. On feed trees, not in the evenings. But you can do it either way. But no, that's interesting because you did tell me that. Also, one other thing that I wanted you to touch on just about the hunt was hunting in, this is like hill country, your club. Not real big hill country, but it's definitely rolling hills. The wind in thermals in those SMZs, if you're hunting mornings or evenings, like you mentioned that thing about if the wind gusts, and I don't know, say it's 5, 6, 8 miles an hour, it started swirling, and like how you had to be a little more strategic on the timing of when you went in with a more calm morning. I hear that all the time from different people, like, oh, how do you hunt SMZs? And that's like a great point. Like you kind of, especially bow hunting, you need a deer get close in those tight areas. You've got to have those conditions that makes it where that scent settles. So when a deer comes off the side of the hill next to you, it's not swirling around in there.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I was looking for because, there's 2 apps that I use for that. The one is Ventusky because it's amazing. It's by far the best wind app I've ever seen.
Not sponsored. Amazing though.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So you can look at wind speed and wind gusts. So I'll look at both of those. Typically, I was not hunting these spots unless the wind was 5 miles an hour or less. And then also just your regular weather app on an iPhone, like Apple Weather. They have a chart that shows you in one chart the wind velocity and the gusts. So I would look at that too and see like, okay, the wind is going to be 5 miles an hour, but it's not really gusting that much, versus, oh, it's going to be about 5 miles an hour, but it's gusting like 12. Then that's a problem.
Yeah.
And see when it would start gusting too, because if it's not really gonna get gusty or a little bit more wind velocity until like 9:30, then yeah, I'd probably go try it. But if it's gonna start at 7, 8 o'clock, then I probably wouldn't try it.
Yeah, that's a good tip if you're hunting pine country with SMZ, streamside management zones, a little harder with drainages, which is where all your features are going to be in. If you're hunting that kind of habitat, pay attention to that wind speed. That can make or break a hunt big time.
And I don't typically pay attention to the wind speed, but like, what was the difference miles per hour compared to like when the does were busting you versus the morning? Like you said, it was calm, but
yeah, the day that the does were busting me, it was like 8-mile-an-hour winds, so not very windy.
Yeah.
Like, and the problem was it was really the gusts. So it would be pretty calm in there, and then every once in a while you get that gust, and it would just like you'd feel it swirl really, really bad.
yeah.
And then whenever that happens, like what Tom Brownlee was talking about when we interviewed him about scent molecules and how long your scent molecules stick around. So if I remember correctly, basically your human scent molecules last like, what was it, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
About 15 minutes. So every time that wind gusts and just basically just fills up that SMZ with scent, for the next 15 minutes, you're basically screwed. Right. So if it gusts every 15 minutes or less, then like that spot's shot, which is why I wasn't going into that spot. So then it really messes you up, because when you're in pine country, if all your good spots are in those SMZs and it's real windy, then you're relegated to hunting higher ups on the ridges. And there's no oaks up on the ridges. It's all pines. Yeah. So there's like no good food sources up there. And that was one of the problems with the afternoon hunt specifically, is usually the winds during the day will start to pick up. Mm-hmm. And it'll be gusty in the afternoon, or at least breezy in the afternoon. Whereas in the mornings, it's not really getting windy until about midday.
Yeah. Also, one thing I love about the mornings, it's cooler in the morning at daylight for the first 2 hours, and it's going to be the last 2 hours of daylight.
Oh, it's been fantastic. It's been like 50 degrees every morning. It's been amazing.
Yeah, I heard y'all got colder weather here than we did in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was cold the other morning. We didn't quite get a frost, but we were close. I mean, it was in the high 30s one morning.
Yeah, it never got that cold while we were up there. Then the coldest I got was 42 one day, which was funny. When the day was, it was like drizzly rain. It was like 55. It felt way colder than the 42-degree day.
Yeah.
It was a good hunt, though, man. We've been on, between me and the other guys in the club that I talk to and share information with, just one more thing on the morning thing is, between all of our cameras, I mean, we're routinely getting deer, rack bucks, mature bucks, walking around at 8 o'clock in the morning. And if you get them on camera in the evening, it's either after dark or right there at dark.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's so hard to hunt them in the afternoons. What everyone says about hunting mornings versus evenings, in some situation, it's totally situation dependent. But like in our situation, pine country, hunting SMZs.
Not hunting food plots.
Not hunting food plots, not hunting bait station or anything like that. I feel like it's the exact opposite. I feel like mornings are much, much better and afternoons are way harder, because in the afternoon, you got to get so close to where he's bedded, and the wind's usually gusty and swirly in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, 100%. So, 100% agree.
All right. Oh, shit. All right, let's talk Arkansas.
Yep.
So we drove up Sunday.
Yep.
I had to make a long drive from Alabama. It's not a bad drive, but I had to get up there. It was so windy. It was like, I think it was the beginning of a front was coming through. I think it was so windy. I drove the 4Runner up there, dude. I was all over the road, bro. It was ridiculous. I'm like, it's like 2,000 pounds lighter than my truck, and dude, it was whipping me across the interstate. I'm like, this is kind of freaky, dude. I mean, it was wind gusting like 30 something miles an hour, and I'm driving pretty good, so it was a lot of.
And the Taurus was going all over the road.
Yeah, and we were driving with the headwind the whole way going up there. It was gnarly. But when we got up there at a pretty good time. Y'all beat me by probably an hour or so.
Yeah.
But we decided to get the boat loaded up and go check cameras. Because, Thomas, you went up there in September, put cameras out?
First week of September.
Yeah, put cameras out on a couple different parcels of the public. And so we pretty much were just checking cameras that last hour of light all the way until like 8 o'clock at night, running cameras, picking cameras up. Actually,
what'd you put your cameras on?
Most of them were on mock mock scrapes, and then there was a few that were just on deer trails.
Yeah. And the funny thing is one of the cameras, and he just didn't know at the time, but like on Onyx, you can see, especially Arkansas. Arkansas, I think of all the southern states, has the best aerial imagery. It's got the leaf off imagery, but also like the full foliage imagery is kind of like an October-ish imagery.
Ooh.
So you can see red oaks
Oh yeah.
so easy. Like mature red oaks stand out so well on the map.
Because they're red.
No. It's just like the way the canopy, like their canopy is so distinct. It looks so distinct out there in those river bottoms. And we pulled to this one little peninsula that he had a camera on, and it was way back up in this spot. And we got out and walked in there, and like, dude, while we're driving in, he's like, "Oh, it's right in that." He showed me this area. So I had it on Onyx. We were dodging stumps and trees driving back in there. Smoked
on the way in.
Smoked a couple gar on the way in and some stumps. But we get in there. I'm looking at the map, and I'm like, I didn't tell him until once we got out on it. I'm like, dude, this whole peninsula is red oaks. Like, this looks so good. And we got out. We saw a deer within what, 10 seconds of getting out of the boat. Like, dude, there were deer. There were deer everywhere on that peninsula. I mean, it was probably 30 minutes after dark. There were deer everywhere on that peninsula. And we checked that camera, and unfortunately, I mean, it had a few deer on it, but nothing crazy. They didn't really use that mock scrape. But dude, there were so many deer in that spot. So many.
Well, with those non-cellular cameras too, you can't tell what angle you're basing them at, and that one was so steep. It was like they had to walk right under that.
And he hangs all of his cameras up high, 1 to 2 sticks high, so it's kind of out of people's view and reach and all that stuff, which is good. But it does, when you have a camera up real high like that, it cuts down on the field of view and the detection range, just distance going out.
Yeah.
Especially in that circumstance, like if you have that one deer comes, works the scrape, and you have this on some of the cameras you've got out, there might be a buck working the scrape or a doe working the scrape, but behind them, 20 feet away or 30 feet away, you see like the shadow or like the silhouette of a buck.
Yep.
And that happens all the time. That's the advantage of having it lower, just, waist high, or a little bit below waist high, versus having it up in a tree, but then you got to worry about people messing with it.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was one of my favorite spots. But we checked a bunch of cameras that evening. And was there any other takeaways, really? I mean,
not really. I mean, one thing in this year, I mean, the cameras were only out there for a month and about a week or two.
Yeah.
But we didn't have as much deer movement on those cameras this year as we did in the previous years.
But the previous years, they've been left out until November.
Right. Which normally the cameras started picking up
Late
last
October.
week of October, first couple weeks of November.
Yeah.
But
a huge difference between cameras, because like some of the spots are so good. I'm like, if this was left out here for another 2 weeks, you would have a lot more buck activity, mature buck activity on those spots.
Yeah.
Were you bummed out?
I was pretty bummed out because I'm a camera guy. I love trekking trail cameras because it just boosts my confidence. And one thing from this hunt is like we really didn't go much off trail cameras like we have done in the past.
Yeah.
Which is not that big of an issue because we've hunted this property so much that we kind of know. But it's always nice to know what you're going after.
Yeah, see, he was all bummed out. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I know there's deer here. I know there's bucks here. We're just going to go find them somewhere else. Like, ain't no big deal.
Yeah.
But Monday morning, or I guess it was that night, Sunday night, we were trying to talk about where we wanted to go. So we decided to go to Old Faithful, a spot we've been to for years.
Where we killed all the bucks in 2023?
Yeah.
Like, it's the killing hole, dude. It is just, there's always bucks in there. There's always does in there. It doesn't matter. I feel like you go out there opening week of bow season or late season and you'd find bucks. So we ended up rolling back up in there. It gets kind of shallow coming when you're coming off the river up in one of those sloughs. But we pulled up, got everything situated, and then started walking in. And so also a new regulation change for Arkansas this year. It used to be just a muzzleloader season. Now it's an alternative weapon season. So you can use straight walled cartridge rifles, centerfire rifles, as long as it's not a semi-automatic. You can use a bolt gun, single shot, lever action. It's all good. Or muzzleloader or pistol that's non-semi-automatic. That's, I think, 30 caliber, 40 caliber bigger. Anyway, so I had a 4570 single shot. CVA Scout little rifle. I've had that rifle for like 3 or 4 years. I've never shot it because I was going to get it. My intention with getting that rifle was to convert it to smokeless muzzleloader. Never did. But I had that. Thomas had his muzzleloader, and we slipped up in there. And you decided to go way, way, way off kind of off the river.
Opposite side of where we came in from.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, well, I'm gonna hang back a little bit. And there's like a off the river. There's a little cedar thicket. There's not a lot of cedars, but there's a little cedar thicket that they're like this time of the year. 2 or 3 years ago, I was in there and there's giant fresh rubs everywhere. I'm like, I'm gonna slip hunt. Like I had my saddle stuff with me, but like I went in with this hunt after we had done that episode with Joe Martonic and Bo Martonic. I'm gonna have the grunt call. I'm just gonna slip hunt. And if I find something really good, I'll climb. But like, I'm not just gonna go climb just to go climb. I want to kind of cover a little bit of ground, and that's why I did that morning. But
So what were y'all focusing on in there? Were you trying to go find feed trees? Were you just hunting travel corridors? Because you're getting kind of into the pre-rut,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, probably a little bit of both. Because like there's agriculture on private,
Okay.
which Thomas said it was.
That's what I was trying to focus on.
Yeah, it was
We're trying
corn.
to get close to that.
Yeah, there's corn on private, and then there's not a bunch, but there's pockets of red oaks and water oaks, and I knew that based off how everything else in the southeast, Arkansas had similar conditions. I felt like that Alabama did this spring, that there was going to be a pretty good mass production. So I was trying to find all those, like re-find or re-look at some of those pockets of red oaks and water oaks, and to see if I can find where they're kind of milling back through, the feeding on that before they go back to bed. So he had the strategy of kind of getting up closer to the ag. I was going to kind of hang back in the timber.
Yeah.
But I mean, he saw crap. You were seeing deer way before I was.
Yeah. I mean, I was seeing deer every hunt, and especially that morning, I saw a bunch of deer, and but I was up near the ag, but next to the ag, there's just a big travel corridor that has water oaks on it too. So I kind of felt like pre-rut, doing a little grunt call might have worked, but yeah.
Yeah, see some does and I think a small buck.
Yeah.
I ended up dude, I'm talking moving slow, not covering a ton of ground, just kind of skipping through and calling. And I ended up swinging back around, and I was going to go kind of work a little bit further off the river. And I swung back through this block of timber I was in and kept slowly walking and calling. And I was like taking a few steps, and I looked up as I was taking a few steps, and I looked up, I see a doe just kind of like, not run, but kind of like just trot and like to a tree out in front of me, like probably 90 yards, and start feeding. I was like, ooh, okay, sweet. So like slowed down, watched her for a second, and then I slowly got up to another tree in front of me. Got up to that tree, and I see another doe come out, bigger doe come out. And I'm like, get some tags. I called Thomas. I called Thomas, and I was like, hey, would you be mad if I shot a doe? And he's like, no, that's fine. But he's like, oh man, it kind of messed it up because we got to check some more cameras, after we get done with this hunt. Because we were just planning on hunt for a
Good
little
thing
bit.
I made him wait a couple seconds.
Yeah, we were trying to hunt for a little bit and then go run check cameras and figure out what we're gonna do for the afternoon, because it was gonna be hot today. It was gonna get like 82 or something. So I'm like, all right, well, I won't shoot it. So I hang it with him. Or actually, I don't hang it. I'm on the phone with him, and another deer steps out, like darker deer steps out in that brush. I'm like, hey, let me let you go. I got another deer. And I got up my binos up, and I'm like, man, that looks like a buck. Like I couldn't see his head, but I'm like, dude, that looks like a buck, dude. This is bigger body, is darker than that doe. And finally I see his main beam, like his right main beam kind of come out from behind some brush. I was like, oh, it's a buck. Okay, cool. Then I'm like, okay, is it a buck? Is it like, because there's a bunch of deer out there. I mean, you could have like tiny little forking horns, and you could have 140, 150 inch deer. And I'm like, I didn't want to shoot something super tiny, but also I had this new gun. I'm like, I'm here to. I had the whole thought process going into this hunt. I'm just here to have a good time. Like, let's go have a good time, get some meat, and because I haven't hunted with Thomas in a while now, and just have fun with it. Well, anyways, he finally like gets out, and they're feeding like right there in this timber in front of me, but there's a ton of brush in between us, at least where that buck stepped out. And I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, he's a good deer. And like he was like kind of side profile. Now, and I grunted a little bit, and he like whipped his head around and like looked at me, and I saw his beams. He was like kind of quartered towards me, his beams coming out. I was like, oh, I'm killing that deer. Like he went from like, I don't really know, like, oh, I'm killing that deer. And, dude, heart race was through the roof, dude. I was like, oh, he's 8 point, and like, dude, my heart is just pounding. I'm on the ground slipping. I'm like, dude, this is killer.
How far is he?
Probably 90 yards, maybe.
So when you spotted the first doe, you saw her and then got closer?
Yeah, like here to the camera, like 5 yards maybe.
Okay.
I was right behind a tree, and I just like slipped up to that tree, and then had my backpack still on, but I had the gun off, or I could prop up against the tree to shoot. But dude, I see that buck. I was like, oh crap, I gotta kill this thing. And he's out there. He's like feeding, but he's also like messing with that bigger doe. So I grunted a little bit more, and he had turned and kind of like walked towards me. Still a bunch of brush right there. Then he gets to a spot where he stops, looks back at the doe because the doe just kind of just easing off, and he turns to follow that doe. And he's like kind of quartering away, walking off, and like slight quartering away. I'm like, I gotta shoot him through this one gap. I got a gap in between some saplings. I gotta shoot through. So I was up on the gun, hammer back, and he steps out. And dude, in the moment, I didn't think about stopping the deer. I didn't think about nothing, dude. I was like, I gotta kill this sucker.
There's Brown.
So dude, I had that scope on him, and he steps into it, and I pull the trigger, boom, and dude. Cool thing about not shooting a muzzleloader is like there's no smoke.
Yep.
So it's like I could walk him through the scope after I shot him, and he just like ran 2 steps and just fell down. And it was just like laying there dead, like just laying there dead.
45-70, baby.
Dude, I was like, oh, we throw some big bullets at him, bro. Listen, I'm all about some large caliber projectiles. But anyways, he goes down, and I like call Thomas. I was like, hey man, just shot a buck. And we're like talking for a little bit, and he's like, yeah, I called you, and you were like, oh, you shoot that doe? I'm like, no, I shot a buck. He's like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, dude, like, it's a good one. And anyways, I'm on the phone with him. We're just talking. And I'm like, yeah, I can see him dead. Like, I see his tail. He's laying right there. And all of a sudden, I see him, like, kick. And I'm like, oh, crap. And I was like, and then he, like, jumps up and was like, okay, let me let you go. Put it down. Put a new shell in it. Got back on the gun. And he was, like, up and, like, stumbling around and kind of ran off into, like, it's like an overgrown little, kind of like little field right there he ran into. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, I think I hit him pretty good. But when he stepped out, I knew instantly when I shot him back though. Like instantly, like when I was looking through the crosshairs, he stepped through, and instead of like pulling the trigger right when he was stepping into that hole, I waited a second and he got through a little bit further. I pulled the trigger and hit him back, which I knew, but when he dropped, I was like, okay, well, he's done. But he got back up, stumbled off. So I was like, I told Thomas, I'm like, hey, I'm going to wait like 20-ish minutes before I even go and like look for blood, and just see if I can find blood. And he ended up meeting me down there. Found blood. Actually, I couldn't find it at the impact site. He only went a couple steps, but I found where he hit the ground. Leaves were all disturbed, pushed out of the way, and there's blood right there, and followed blood all the way up to the edge of the field. Mm-hmm. And we found blood all the way into the edge of that little field, that little overgrown little CRP field. And ended up backing. I was like, hey, let's just give him time. Like, he's dead. Let's back out. But, like, let's give him time because if he's still alive, I don't want to bump him.
Yep.
So we ended up slipping out, checking cameras.
Yep.
But, like, what was your thought when you heard that shot? Did you think I shot that doe for real?
Well, I want to say when you called me the first time before you shot at all, you might have said there's another deer or something and kind of made it sound like there was a buck. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I heard the shot, I kind of started trotting your way. Like, we got a buck down.
Yeah. That was awesome. But like that morning, I probably didn't go. I shot him at 8:55 or something like that. So it was right after you had shot at your buck, and I probably had only gone a total of 250 yards in this spot. Like I had sat down right at daylight, waited like 20 minutes after daylight, slipped up, and I slipped about 150 yards down in this timber, and I swung back through, and I was kind of working my way up the other side when I finally caught it with that deer. But we went check cameras.
Yeah, and where he shot that buck was like the morning that Anthony shot his big buck.
Yep.
When you hunted, where that bigger 8-point ran towards you.
Yep.
He came out of that right there where he shot that buck.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where you're
right there in that little corner.
Oh, reliable.
Yep.
That's where that's the same corner that I almost shot that really nice one where he was like bumping a doe, and I think I was FaceTiming you. Like you had shot your buck that morning, and I was walking out and I was FaceTiming you. I was like, I probably shouldn't be FaceTiming when I'm like slipping through these woods. And I remember I looked up and I just saw a body trailing a doe. I was like, gotta go. Hung up, got the gun up, and he like walked right through my gap as soon as I got my gun up. Yeah. But yeah, that was a nice deer. Mm-hmm. But that's a good spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
got history.
Well, it's funny because there's an old ladder stand right there.
A wooden ladder stand?
No, it's metal, but like it's been there. I mean, I've been hunting that spot or that general area for like 6 years now. Mm-hmm. Since I was there, it has not left that tree. Like, I mean, it's like grown into that tree. I'm sure someone hunts it every now and then, but I was literally like 20 yards on one side of that ladder stand when I shot that buck out in front of it.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, well, that dude's got a pretty good spot, I guess. I've been walking by that stand forever now.
Yeah.
But we ended up go checking some cameras.
See, and he texted me that morning because that was the same morning I missed the buck with the recurve. And we always text each other time of death whenever we kill something. So he texted me. He was like, I don't know, 8:40 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Jacob shot one. And he only ever does that with bucks. So I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm like trying to get a hold of him, trying to text him. He's like, oh, yeah, dude, I smoked him. I saw him go down, blah, 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 blah. And then it get like a long time passes. And he doesn't say anything. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
He was looking for a while because we were trying to find blood where he entered that overgrown field. And it took us probably 20, 30 minutes maybe to find exactly where he went in at.
Yeah.
Because like that grass has some red tint to it.
Yeah.
Where like you can't really see the blood.
Yeah, unless it's on green, you ain't gonna see it.
Yeah.
And like everything that was out there had like hints of red all in it.
Yeah, because that was that morning, and I didn't hear back from you until I think I was in the tree that afternoon, because you called me when y'all went back to go blood trail him again. I was in the stand. I was like, hello.
Yeah.
I was like, did you get him?
Yeah,
It's been a while.
I think we gave him 7 hours before coming back. But we ended up checking cameras in another spot, found tons of sign, those rubs, that one spot, that pinch point on the river. Dude, it was killer. I was like, might not be great now. I got a feeling like this is probably kind of early morning sign right before daylight or way after dark. But like during the rut, someone should be sitting this. Dude, I'm talking rubs. Like you step into it and it was like a sapling thicket up against the river. And then it was like ag right there. And it was, you look around and you could not stop counting rubs, like big rubs, and like saplings snapped off, scrapes. It was just crazy looking. Thomas had a camera in there, had a couple really nice deer on camera, but they're all coming through at weird times, like 2 o'clock in the morning, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when going back to the spot, getting back in there, took the jet sled in there. I'm pro jet sled now. Never used one to this trip. And
They're so awesome.
We ended up finding where he had went into the field before we left earlier that morning. Went back in that afternoon, got back in there, and we couldn't find blood. Like once we found Thomas's last spot where Thomas found blood, we couldn't find anything. And dude, we were like walking up and down trails for like 45 minutes maybe. And finally I called you and I'm like, dude, I don't know what the heck happened. Like, I mean, he's in here, or he ran across he ran across his field and got back in the timber. But I'm like, I don't know what's going on. You're like, well, a lot of time you gave us a great piece of advice. This is great advice for everybody watching.
A minute later.
So you knew it was gut shot.
Yeah. 100%.
And you knew like the thicket he went into. And what I was telling him was on deer that I've gut shot or gut shot deer that I've tracked for other people. Usually when they get into a thicket like that, what they'll do is they'll run in, and they're either going to be laying like right there on the trail, dead or maybe still alive, but usually dead right there on the trail, or they're just going to hook off and they're just going to be 5 or 10 yards on either side of it. So what I told him is I was like, you and Thomas go in there, and wherever you got the last blood where he entered, if there's 2 or 3 trails kind of branching off, y'all just go and snake around those trails. Like instead of walking straight down the trail, just walk 5 or 10 yards to one side and then swing around and walk 5 or 10 yards to the other side and just do like a little serpentine pattern going through there. And I'm like, you're probably going to walk up on him unless he went to the other side. And if you do that and don't find him, then go to the other side and just walk the perimeter and see if you can find a track or see if you can find blood coming out or anything like that. And so he's like, okay, we're going to do that. And dude, it wasn't like 10 minutes later he called. He's like, you were right.
Yeah.
That's like you said.
Dude, well, so I told Thomas that because he went, so there's some vultures in there, and he went to go check some vultures where they were circling. And he came back and I told Thomas that. I was like, hey, you take a trail, I'll take a trail. And this is kind of zigzag back and forth. So he went off the far right trail, and the trail kind of petered out. Kind of went to a spot that looked like a bed right there, but there's no blood or anything in it that I could find. And he's like on it, and I'm like on a different one. And he like goes 5 yards further, and all of a sudden he's like starts grinning. He like looks over at me. He's like grinning, acting like stupid.
No, I went like this. I went, oh, like I was about to just say buck, but like he was right there, and I go, oh. So, did you know where the toilet paper? Where did we put the toilet paper? I just started making some stuff because I was gonna I got my phone out.
Yeah,
to the video.
he was saying that. I was so confused. I'm like, what are you asking? Like,
It made no
Toilet
sense.
I was like, yeah. He
You
went.
got to go drop one off.
He went so it was so dumb, and he was just like, yeah, man, hey, toilet paper. Where's the toilet paper at? I'm like, it's right behind you, hanging on the tree where the deer ran.
And I started rizzing.
And I'm like, oh, whatever. So like, dude, because I was like, this deer's got to be here. Like, why can't we find it? And I turn around and look, and I'm looking, and all of a sudden, I turn back, and he's got his phone out like this, and he's like, he's smiling like this. And I'm like, what? He's like, I've got the video on here, and he's like, you can cut it if you want, but he's like, because I don't think I cuss in it too. Which
No, you don't.
kept the PG, but
Guess what I just found?
the deer? No, you're kidding me. Are you kidding me?
Come on.
No way. Or, no, you're lying. There's no way. Are you kidding me, Thomas? Are you kidding me, dude? Holy crap. I can't believe that. How did you... That's crazy, dude. He did exactly what Andrew said. He's like, look down, he's going to run down the trail and he's going to cut off. That's exactly what he did. Dude.
Come on.
Yeah, I hit him about. I look back at him. He's smiling with his phone just like this, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "What?" I don't know. I can't remember. I need to watch the video again.
I might say like he's right here or
I was like,
something.
"Yeah, like I got him right here or something." I'm like, "No way." No, I was in disbelief. I was like, "Oh, he's pulling the nastiest prank on me."
You lying.
His face was just like, no way.
Yeah, I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he's like, "No, he's right here." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" I think I said, "Are you?" I think I said, "Dude," and "Are you kidding me?" like 12 times. And I walk over there and he's laying there. Like deer didn't go 60 yards at the most.
Yeah.
How far into that thicket was he?
Like 30, 25 yards.
Yeah.
25, 30 yards. No, 20, maybe 20.
He might have been like 15 off the
Yeah, he was right there, and he died. Like when he ran into it, he was dead.
I'm still surprised we couldn't smell him. And even when we got right up on him, we couldn't
Yeah,
smell him.
you couldn't smell him.
But you would think you would have
Yeah.
been able to.
Yeah, because we found like in some of the blood, I was finding like acorns and corn from that cornfield that that was like in the blood. So like I knew I hit him in the gut,
Like a punch.
punch,
Hit,
stomach hit, yeah. But yeah, he went like 60 yards tops, and he'd been dead for a long time. Like,
Yeah, I
mean,
saw that video. He was like stiff as a board.
I mean, dude, you couldn't you try to pick him up, and he was like, I mean, fully.
He probably ran over there and just when you saw him get up and run off, he probably was dead in half an hour, if that.
If that, and I mean, he wasn't even bedded. He was like all stretched out right there.
Yeah.
He died on the run, maybe.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't from where he jumped up to where he went was 55 yards probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm like, because I was thinking, because I was talking some smack with you about like, dude, I ain't ever shot one with a gun that went over like, I think it was like 70 yards or something like that. Then I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, crap, this sucker might have gone all the way to the river or something like that. I don't know. This sucker-
He might be floating down the river.
Yeah. And no, he didn't go far at all. But I was so excited because I'm like day one, first day, shot a buck. I'm like, this is awesome, a nice 8 point. And I had to use the jet sled. Thomas kind of cut into his hunt a little bit. He ended up going slipping through. And where did you go?
I went to Anthony's field.
Okay. Yeah, so he went and hunted up there where Anthony shot his big buck a couple years ago. I loaded the buck in the jet sled, took him back to close to the boat, got him gutted and everything, and then went on and just hung out the boat because I'm like, I'm just going to hang out here. I mean, we found him hour and a half before dark, so I had plenty of time to get him out, get him gutted, and get him taken care of.
Yeah. And that was basically
It was
day
fun.
one.
It was fun taking him out on that boat though, because Thomas's boat, dude, he's got these LED light bars on there. So we're running up through those sloughs and stuff, dude. You can see everything. It's so nice. Ain't a tree gonna jump out in front of you.
Hey, we need to get that on our boat.
They're so nice.
Dude, like I would never
Use a handheld again.
well, not even a handheld, but like I would never do what we've done in the past ever again after being in his boat.
I know, dude. Last time we hunted Arkansas, Jacob almost killed me.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah. It's it's sketchy.
Man, dude, there's a video we had from that hunt. It's on our Patreon. I don't think this made it into the video though, but there's this little gap you got to go through at one part. You know what I'm talking about? Jacob's like, watch this.
You have it on video?
Oh yeah, and he just like gooses it, dude. He's trying to go shoot through this gap like a cool guy, and he just nails a rock. I was like, oh, there goes the motor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. It was funny because
That's something you do not want to gun through, that little
Yeah, a
section.
little chute coming through, back through all that stuff. But anyway, so that was day one. But it was crazy because like I shot that deer, you shot your buck. I said, man, we could have
doubled.
We could have doubled in 2 different states, man. Daggum. I'm like,
shoulda,
they were
woulda.
moving.
They were moving, by golly.
For
Mornings for the win.
So what's funny is when I saw I say funny. When I saw those does and that buck stepped out and they were feeding and kind of milling around with it, I'm like, what are they eating on? Because I was kind of familiar with the trees. And when I went over there and tracked them, I couldn't find anything until later when we came back to recover the deer. There's one little water oak. And it was dropping acorns and they were feeding underneath that. That's what they were feeding on before going back to bed.
Nice.
And I was like, huh. Okay.
I was wondering what it was.
Yeah, there's one little water. I mean, water oak probably, like you could get a lock on it like 8 feet high. But like it had acorns, it was producing, it was dropping. And there's acorns all right there in that little spot. And that's where I shot him at, where the doe was at.
Yeah, that seems to be the story this year. I mean, every time that I've hunted here in Alabama and the people I know who've been hunting here, it's such a bumper year that even those little small trees, like that white oak I mentioned earlier that I hunted last night, it's the kind of tree that it's in a pine. There's not another oak around it. It's in the middle of a pine thicket and it's topped over by a bunch of pine trees. I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that thing didn't make, but I'm going to go check it. And then it was just covered.
Yeah.
And even those trees made this year.
Yeah.
And like little bitty water oaks, small trees, big trees, you name it. I mean, it's kind of like anywhere that you look. By the way, just another point about like what I was saying about like mornings versus evenings and what Dylan was talking about and everything like that. I think one reason that we have such good luck in the mornings is because we are hunting close to their bedding. And like where I missed that buck and where I've been having all these deer encounters, you're in the middle of all these thick pines and that food is just right in the middle of them. They're bedding literally all around you, like everywhere. And if you're hunting up close to the bedding, sometimes they're getting in late, or sometimes they might just be hanging around the bedding and they feel comfortable around it, so they're coming out to feed.
Yep.
But you feel like you were catching them going back into bedding?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of on day 2 when I had the opportunity on the buck.
Mm-hmm.
They were going back into bedding from ag.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like that was the thing. Like we knew like the biggest draw was that ag field, like corn, because we ended up walking up to it later that day. The day I shot my buck, when we were giving that buck time, we checked the other camera. We got up next to another little cornfield, and there was like we walked to the property line, and you can just see not just kernels on the ground, but like whole ears of corn laying there.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, yeah, that is the number one destination. Like they're feeding on oaks and everything, feeding on acorns, but they're going out there in the evening and they're coming back in the morning. They're browsing their way back through, going back to bed. So I'm like, okay, that's the pattern we need to pay attention to. Like that's the path of travel that they're going.
Yeah.
Because again, it's early enough. Like the bucks aren't like really messing with does, but my buck, his tarsals are smelling, dude. Which I was surprised
Feeling
with.
good.
Yeah. So, that was cool.
So one buck down, and then Thomas, was it the next day that you had your chance at a buck?
Yeah. Next day, and I went exactly to the spot where you hung up with me to shoot that buck 3 years ago. So like you have the ag.
Yep.
And then you have overgrown fields right there in that gap, which is just river bottom hardwoods, basically. Pretty open too.
Mm-hmm.
And I climb up there, and I didn't see a single deer until that group of 4 deer came out, which I was at like 8:30 still, which is about the same time you shot your buck.
Yeah.
And they came, there's that levee. They came, I saw a doe coming off the levee, and then there was another doe, and then another doe. And I was going to shoot one of those does. And then I was like, just because of what happened to Jacob yesterday, I'm going to wait a couple seconds and see if there's a buck behind him. And sure enough, I look, there's another deer coming off the levee, darker body. And I catch a glance of his rack. I'm like, it's at that point where it's like, am I going to shoot him or am I not going to shoot him? And he comes.
He's a borderline buck?
Yeah, borderline buck. And he gets to like 60, 70 yards in that open woods. And I'm like, I think I'm going to shoot him. But then the does kind of get skittish. What were you going to add?
Well, I was going to say in that area, there's like 2 little sloughs right there that like, when the water's high or it floods out with the river, like there's just like debris everywhere on the ground, and it's I mean, it's like it's open, but like walking through, it's loud as crap.
Yeah,
there's like tons of logs laying everywhere.
It's like dead wood covered with old vines,
and it holds water so long until like it dries up that like everything's like a soppy mud. So like you can see tracks really well in it, but like other than that, there's like nothing growing. It's like it's the weirdest little area.
Yeah. It is, and one other thing that was to my reason why I sat there is because if you remember that slough that comes up through that was full. The beavers dammed it up. So that was full to where they have to circle around that if they want to go to those overgrown fields. So anyways, those does kind of get spooky and they kind of bound, and then he turns around and starts walking back towards where they initially came from. So I get my muzzleloader up, get on him, but he's walking. So I just hold it like in one gap and wait for him to cross into it, shoot. Black powder, you can't see crap. And then like 10 seconds later, because there was no wind, so you can't see for like
You're up in the tree like,
yeah, like, yeah. And then he's on the other side of that little slough then after I can see him, and he's just standing there. And that was at like 8:30 when I first shot him.
Yeah.
I called Jacob and I was like, hey, I just shot a buck. And he kind of seemed like he was hit, but in reality he wasn't. So I reload my muzzleloader, but he's through some thick stuff, and I couldn't really get a shot on him, and I would lose him, but he was just standing there turning his head so you could see his rack kind of flash. And it was probably 8:30, 8:40 when I first shot him. It was probably 9:30, 40 where he was just standing in one spot. Like I could never get another shot on him.
really?
Yeah.
He
like,
stood there for like an hour?
it was forever.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a while because at that point I was slip hunting again.
Mm-hmm.
So I had moved a little bit, and I heard the first shot. I was like, all right. And he called me a couple minutes later. He's like, yeah, shot this buck. He like ran to the spot, and he's like, I can still see him. He's not down.
Did you hear the shot?
Yeah.
Did it sound like he hit it?
No.
Explain that.
Well, see, muzzleloaders are weird because this comes to later in the story. Some other deer he had shot where I couldn't tell any of them that he had hit them with a muzzleloader.
I could tell.
So like with a muzzleloader, and because I've never been with somebody who also shot a muzzleloader and can tell if they hear it, because I think like the velocity, like that impact doesn't travel as far compared to the person shooting. Because like when I've shot deer, bucks, bear, everything, I've killed quite a few different things with a muzzleloader. When I'm the shooter, if you hit them right, you can hear it. It sounds like a 2x4, especially those 330 grain ELR power belt bullets. It sounds like a 2x4 slapping a tree. But I've never heard it from like someone else shooting and what it sounds like at a distance. So like I just heard a shot go off.
So, but like with a rifle, explain to people who might not know.
Like yeah, well, like a high powered rifle. I mean, any kind of center fire rifle, you shoot a deer, you could be 300, 400, 500 yards from that person. If they hit it good, you can hear the doom doom.
Yeah.
Like you hear the bullet impact.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's not like boom.
Yeah, it's not like a boom. It's like
Pa-poom.
it's like pa-poo. Yeah, you
Yeah.
hear the bullet making contact, and then everything else. But I couldn't hear that with a muzzleloader. But he had shot. I was slip hunting. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, oh, well, I can ease your way in a little bit. But I was like, hey, actually, no, yeah, we talked and everything. I don't think it was that far between the shots. I
It
think,
had to be at least 30 minutes.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe 30 minutes, but finally, I'll let you kind of keep going with your story.
Yeah, finally.
I was like, if you can get another shot in him, get another shot in him.
Yeah. So, because I still didn't know if I hit him, because him standing there for so long, it kind of made me feel like maybe I gut shot him or something.
Yeah.
Because they were standing there for like that long and then maybe bed down. But, anyways, 30 minutes later, I guess, he starts working away. He walks another like 10 yards going kind of up that levee, but then just stands there. And I had a small gap to where I saw he was quartering away pretty hard. So I aimed and he was going uphill. So it's a weird shot. But I just shot again, kind of aimed back, but a little high because he was that guy at 100 and probably 130 yards. And I sighted my muzzleloader in for 50, which looking back, I'm just going to sight that sucker in at 100. So I aimed pretty high on his back, shot, smoke clears. I see him on the ground kicking, just kicking in the dirt, belly up. And then he, for like 15, 20 seconds, and then he's just laying there, belly up, not moving at all. So I called Jacob again. I'm like, he's down. We got him.
No, yeah, he calls me. He's like, hey, I shot him again. Because I heard the shot. I was like, oh, that was a while after the first shot. And I was like, oh, God. I'm like, okay. And he calls me, and because I'm like, I've learned with Thomas, I'm just going to let him call me. Like, if I hear a shot from you, I'm going to call you, okay?
Yeah.
Half the time, he don't answer. So it's like, I'm not even going to call him. I'm going to wait for him to call me and figure out what's going on. So he calls me. He's like, hey, man, I shot him. He drops. He's laying right there. He like kicked around a little bit. I'm like, he dropped? He's like, yeah. I'm like, reload your gun and get back on him. Like, just, I'm like, if you dropped him like that, I'm always super nervous that like you spine shot him, he's gonna get back up, like get your gun reloaded and get ready. I said that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, okay. I'm like, just hang out, watch him for a little bit, get your gun reloaded, stay on him. And if he goes to move, if he goes to get back up, shoot him again. So we hang up. And I'm still like slip hunting at this point. But at this point, I'm just kind of like chilling this spot because I'm like, he shot this deer. Like, deer's down. I'm like, I'm not going to move any further because I'm just going to ease my way over to him. And then what?
I wish I could check the timing, but he was laying there for a long
It was
time.
probably 15 minutes.
Like laying there, not moving at all, because I was checking with my binos stomach. Like you could still see his white belly. And then I'm on my phone and I hear,
I text you. I think I text you something. It was like, is he still down or something like that?
maybe.
I mean, I want to look at it real quick.
Yeah.
So
Whatever,
Did
text
you
me
reload in this time period?
I did reload, but I already put my gun like back on the tree and everything. So the gun was reloaded, but you've seen those woods before. I mean, there's thick little patches where it'd be thick for like a 15-yard circle, but then all other stuff open back
Yeah,
up.
so I text him at 8:42. This is after his second shot. I was like, is he still down? And then I get a phone call from Thomas. And that's
crashing.
and I'm like, he's like, I'm like, hey, he's like, he got back up. I'm like, you didn't get a shot? And he's like, no. He's like, he took off running. He like ran down into the slough and like went, he's like, I can't see him. He's like behind a bunch of stuff. And that was like 15 minutes after that second shot. I had texted him and literally the deer got up and went whoom.
Yeah, took off and then got back behind stuff, and then I think he just stood there like kind of regaining some of, being knocked out or whatever happened.
Yeah. By the way, you mentioned what those woods look like. That 2023 hunt that I mentioned is on our Patreon. It's Patreon exclusive. So the video of that hunt in this exact same area is up. So if Patreon members, if you go watch that, you can kind of get a really good idea of where all this took place.
Yeah.
So he just got up and ran off.
And then
he just took a little power nap.
Yeah. Dude. I was so confused. I was like, 100% he's dead. Crashing, ran, stopped, can't see him. And then I see him walking straight away like nothing even happened.
Yeah.
Dude. All right, so then what did you do when you saw that?
Well, he called me and he's like, dude, you gotta like come over here. He's like, that buck, he's slipped up. He's like, he's walking away. And I'm like, what's he doing? He's like, he's just walking. He's like, I can't get a shot. He's just walking. Looks like nothing's wrong with the deer. Like after he crashed, after he ran from the spot he was laying down at, he ran to another spot. From that spot, Thomas then saw a couple minutes later that he's just like just walking away.
Man, dude, that buck went back to all his buddies. He's like, y'all would not believe the morning.
So I finally
Oh, God.
I finally get over there. I'm like, let's go look for blood and kind of figure out where he shot him. And we walked in, and I haven't been in those woods in so long. I was like, holy crap, these are open. This is like big flooded timber, like it's wide open outside of vines and stuff. And we tried to find the first spot where he had shot at him, general area. He climbed up in the tree. He had his stuff still up there. I walked over there. I'm like, we can't find anything at the first impact site. Nothing.
No hair.
No, I mean, literally nothing. No evidence. Not even like running tracks. I'm looking for like running tracks because the ground's so soft. I was like, we could find his track super easy in this. Couldn't find nothing. Circled way around, going through it. Finally, I'm like, okay, climb back up the tree, call me, and I'm going to try to get to like where you thought the deer was at for the second shot where he dropped. Because I'm like, we ought to find something there. And me and him at first walked over there, couldn't find anything. He goes back, he climbs up the tree, and he's like talking to me about like where the deer was roughly at.
Yeah.
And I finally get to the spot, and I look down, and there's a bare spout in the dirt where it's all kicked out. There's dirt kicked over. I'm like, oh, he was right here. And I'm like, I found where he's at. Like, you can come down here. And I'm looking, I'm like, there's no blood. Like, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, there's no blood. Deer been laying for 15 minutes. Finally, there's a tiny little leaf. I mean, it's inch-long little leaf that had like watery, smeared blood on it. And that was it. And I'm like, if that's all it was at this spot, I'm like, I know exactly what happened.
Yep.
And then after that, and I'll explain what that happened was, but after that, we try to follow his tracks. You can see his tracks for a little bit to like where he had gone. There's a big down tree, went around this down tree, and like we try to find the second spot where he stopped at after he took off running, and literally could not find anything. No more blood, lost the track, couldn't find anything. We zigzagged back through there, couldn't find any evidence of him. That was a fatal hit. And I was like, I told Thomas, I think on that second shot, the first shot may or may not had hit him. I don't think he had hit him.
Pretty sure I missed him.
Because he was talking about a little bit more that he kind of started pulling the trigger right when he saw the brisket. And my shot probably in front of the deer.
Yeah.
But on the second shot, I think he high shouldered. I think he hit it above the spine. And this has happened to multiple buddies of ours.
Yep.
Where like you you think you high shoulder shot a deer where you go through the shoulder blades, you break the spine, and they're dead. If you hit too high, the spine actually drops below the shoulder blade. Shoulder blades actually come up above the spine a little bit.
Yep.
If you hit them high right there, you're not touching anything major. If it doesn't truly break the back,
Yeah.
like the deer's fine, but it'll be like
It shocks their nervous.
it shocks their nervous system. It's almost like they're paralyzed for a little bit, and they just drop, and you think you smoked them.
Yep.
And then ever how long later, deer gets up and runs off. Like we have one of our buddies happened to him with a big deer, where he shot it off a ridge point. He climbed out of his tree. Deer was laying there, what he thought was dead. He climbed out of his climber, where he couldn't see anymore. Walked over the lip, and the deer was no longer there. They put dogs on it. Never found that deer. Deer was
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, that's why like you'll hear people talk about high shouldering a deer on purpose. That is why I'm not a fan of a high shoulder shot. I'm like, just shoot him behind the shoulder, man.
Yeah.
Every time.
But that's what I'm super confident what happened with that deer. And I'm like, dude, I think it's a non-lethal hit. I don't think he touched him with the first shot. I don't think he got anything with the second shot. That watery, just a little bit of blood right there where he'd been laying there for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like there ought to be a lot more blood laying there. And how he acted and then just walked off.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happened to him.
Yeah, and by the way, just on the high shoulder shot, some people will do a high shoulder shot. Just for listeners, some people will do a high shoulder.
This is with a
shot.
rifle, by the way.
With a rifle,
Fire.
not with a bow.
Yeah, not with
a rifle. They'll do a high shoulder shot if they really don't want to track the deer. Like say you're on the edge of a real steep ravine, or you're close to a property line or whatever, and you're afraid of where the deer's going to run to. You don't want to run way down in a gully you're going to have to get them out of, or run across property line. Some people advocate for shooting high shoulder because if you just put it through the shoulders, he can't run. And that does work.
Yeah, you drop them. I mean, they're dead on impact.
Yeah, I mean, it does work. Either if it doesn't kill them on impact, when they go down, they can't run, and they'll just kind of like Jordan Jones calls it digging taters. They'll go dig taters for 10 or 15 yards. They'll just plow into the ground. But that shot makes me nervous for that reason. Because if you're off, there's not as much of a margin of error as if you're shooting right behind the shoulder.
Yeah, not high.
Yeah.
Low, you're okay. High, you get problems. But that's what I think happened with that deer because we ended up trying to follow him we were out there for another hour or so just trying to find some kind of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of shot, if you told a dog tracker, like you call the guy with the dog, he's like, hey, I want you to come look for a deer. And you explain that shot, I would say 9 times out of 10, he's like, I'm not coming. It's not worth it. The deer is more than likely alive.
Yeah.
Or he's going to charge a premium to come out there because he's like, we're not going to find the deer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So, because that happens all the time. Like you see posts like that on social media all the time. Someone shoots one on a food plot, they drop, they're end up celebrating, kind of hanging out for a little bit. And all of a sudden, the deer gets up and takes off running.
Yep.
You ain't find that deer.
Man, bummer.
Crazy.
What was your state of mind? Are you bummed?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Easy, don't cuss him.
I didn't cuss.
You were close right there.
Yeah. I was just gonna say I was pretty bummed. Yeah, and especially like because I not tracked him, but I was following him because whenever he started walking away, right after I couldn't see him through some of that thick stuff, I just climbed down and was easing my way behind him because maybe I could get another shot on him. But yeah, we probably were out there for another hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we're like, let's just go back to the boat, trying to get it all back together.
Did y'all hunt that afternoon after that?
I did. Jacob didn't.
Yeah, I didn't that afternoon. He hunted that afternoon. That afternoon though, so we get back to the cabin. He goes hunts that afternoon. We come back, or he gets back. And I'm hanging out with his wife Belle and son Bo were there hanging out. And Belle's like, "Oh, Thomas." I'm like, "I ain't heard from Thomas." And she's like, "I haven't heard from him either." But she like looked at his location. And he's, "Oh, he's back." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't see any lights pull up or anything like that." He came in freaking covert, had the headlights turned off on the vehicle. And we get out there. Finally, he's like, "Oh, he's outside. I see him." We walk out there and we're like, "Hey, what's up?" And then also there's the jet sled's laying right there, and there's a big old freaking doe laying in it. I'm like, "What?"
No.
Because he said after that, he's like, "Dude, if it's legal, I'm killing it." He's like, I need a confidence
If a doe
booster.
steps out, she's dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he smoked a doe, big doe too. And anyway, that was pretty sweet. Because that was have you killed a deer with those 330 grain power belts yet?
Um,
Before that, I know you had shot them in the past, but I don't know if you ever killed one with it.
I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, he shot this doe quarter into her, and I mean, just
Yeah, she did not go anywhere.
Got her.
obliterated her chest cavity.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was a wrap. One thing I was gonna say about this trip that I was glad we brought is a hitch
Oh yeah.
attached gambrel winch system to be able to clean your deer on. We brought one, and dude, it is the best freaking thing.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. Bring the deer back whole or gutted, and then hang them up, and then work on them. You don't have to worry about them touching the ground or nothing like that. It is so nice than like our normal trips where we're like laying one on the tailgate and we're working on them, flipping them around. Oh, it was so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to pick one up. That was sweet. Take that to Iowa.
So you killed the doe,
Tuesday.
and then there's basically y'all hunted for a couple more days, and or was it the next day?
No, it was Wednesday. Thomas actually had us some permission property, some private land we got to go hunt on. Which, dude, I actually got to hunt it twice. Mm-hmm. It was still there's so much buck sign, and I was like, I couldn't run into deer. We hunted it Wednesday evening. I forgot what we did Wednesday morning, but Wednesday evening we hunted there, and there was a bench that kind of ran on like one of the hills on the ridges on the property, and we were gonna that's where Thomas had hunted before, and he's like, man, there's deer there. So we sat there. He saw a doe. I didn't see anything that day. Bumped some on the way out. Found tons of scrapes and rubs. But it was Thursday. What?
Wednesday is when Gage went with me, and that's when.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to go into that, but I mean, someone did miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Shot at a doe was not my best shooting, and then Gage.
You missed a doe?
Yeah, and then Gage.
He didn't tell me he
And
missed
Gage
a doe.
was going to shoot it because it ran straight towards us. We're a couple hundred yards away from each other.
Oh wait, yeah, you did.
And
Yeah, you did.
And
Gage.
then Gage shoots, and the primer goes off.
powder
Because it was that super foggy morning to where we were doing figure eights on the river.
Oh, that was scary.
I'm
Actually,
glad you brought this up. I completely forgot Jacob missed.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
yeah.
A little chip shot.
Yeah, it was terrible. Seeing a bunch of deer slope hunt. I'm telling you, listen, there is nothing more exciting. I'm telling you right now, nothing more of adrenaline rush than slip hunting for deer. I'm telling you right now, it is my new addiction.
What was that episode? Joe Martonic.
It was two episodes ago.
2 Mondays ago. Joe and Bo Martonic.
Like, listen to that episode, and guys, like, you don't have to do it with the bow. Like, if you're in one of these states, like, you know, Alabama's got a long gun season, Arkansas has a fairly long firearm, an alternative weapon season. It's episode, actually it's 3 weeks ago, episode
728.
Oh gosh, it's a while ago. Yeah, October 6th, 728. Joe and Bo Martonic, listen to that episode. But because I tried, dude, I'm telling you, it is an adrenaline dump. I don't care if it's a doe. Dude, if you're just wanting to go shoot deer, it is one of the most exciting ways to go hunt.
Get shook up, boy.
But anyways, I seen a bunch of does that morning. Ended up shooting at one. It wasn't great. It didn't go good. Deer ran by Thomas and Gage.
Yep.
Gage didn't have any warm clothes, so I gave him my puffy jacket, my moss oak puffy jacket, which is super warm. But I didn't think he would walk in with it.
So loud.
Dude, he's like, he sounds like not the Michelin, I don't know. He sounds like he's in a tracksuit walking, dude. And like Thomas, they climbed up a tree. I let him borrow my saddle equipment. They climbed up a tree. That doe ran right by him. He pulls the hammer back, goes to shoot it, and it goes, I hear it. And I'm like, what is that sound? Because we're like 300 yards from each other, 200 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh, so the primer went off.
Yeah.
His powder was wet.
Right.
yeah, the powder didn't go off. And it was just like this, like, pop. Like this, no, it didn't sound like that. It was like just a pop sound. And I'm like, hey, that was a really far shot. That was weird. I didn't even think it was them. And then afterwards, I called him. I was like, hey, because I was trying to see if I could find blood from the deer that doe I shot at. Couldn't find anything. And I called him. I was like, they're like, oh yeah, she ran over to us, and Gage went to shoot at her, and the primer went off. Nothing else happened. I'm like, what? I'm like, that sucks.
And I went to just to add some context for later on. I reload the muzzleloader because I take out the gunpowder because I'm pretty sure it was really foggy, moisture got in or something. I reload the muzzleloader, and that one bullet fell to the ground. I never picked it up, so just remember that.
Yeah. Also, another thing, I finally worked my way over to those guys and met up with them. There was I walk up to them, and I'm like, I'm like, this is a pretty good looking spot. They're like, yeah, do you see that big rub over there? It was like 40 yards from him. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you see the big gut pile with the set of, freaking gonads off his butt? I'm talking like catcher's mitt. I'm talking Billy Goat. I'm talking Magnum.
Like in bow range of where we were sitting.
Magnum.
You never saw the gut pile?
No.
So someone else killed a deer in there?
So
It was the morning before.
So the morning before, when he shot that buck that we ended up, it was a non-lethal hit. We heard a shot from like that side of the river,
yeah.
which is a place that we've hunted before in the past. Didn't even think anything about it. We're like, we're just gonna go check it out. And
Got the guy on camera on, where my camera was, close to the river.
yeah,
But the camera didn't take enough photos to see the deer behind him dragging.
but he was dragging something.
I think so.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, some dude killed. I don't know what the antlers looked like, but if it's anything like set of testicles on that side, he was a giant.
Yeah.
Yo.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I
Talk
saw
about a change purse, son. You'd be putting them $50 in there.
Yeah.
dude, you put softballs in that sucker. I'm telling you. I walked up and I was like, that is a big set. I'm like, that's a big gut pile. And I looked next to it and I saw them laying there and I was like, oh my God. I mean, dude, I was a little jealous for a second.
He shot my deer.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
man.
but anyway, so
Deer put you to shame.
Yeah.
we ended up walking out there. That was the morning Thomas decided to wear some bibs in, and he changed the camo pattern on his bibs from Beggar's Lice.
Uh-oh.
You couldn't see camo.
Like literally,
Why'd you wear bibs in?
it was chilly that
cold
morning,
that-
and Thomas gets cold easy. So he,
I guess you're not coming too far off the river, I guess.
yeah. But dude, it was funny. Anyway, so that all happened that evening. We go hunt some private property that they had permission. They got us permission on. Tons of sign. Thomas saw a doe. I didn't see anything. Come back out, and then Thursday
We sleep in.
we slept in, and then that afternoon we're like, hey, because we had like lunch plans or something like that.
Yep.
We're gonna go grab lunch, and then we're gonna go hunt down the river on a spot that actually is a you can come in by water or you can drive into it, walk in kind of parcel. But he's like, hey, let's just go down there. Like I'd hunted like 3 or 4 years ago during the muzzleloader hunt, saw like a couple does, didn't find much of any sign. I was like, I don't ever want to go back there. And he's like, oh, we gotta go.
Because last year, Mike, myself, Anthony, and Brian went and hunted that spot, and we saw a bunch of bucks, but they were all like 2.5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of does. So that, and the wind was perfect that afternoon for the spot.
Yeah.
So
We ended up driving down there and hopping out, getting ready to go in. And Thomas is so funny. I've hunted around the spot, and there's some big sloughs, tons of water, and he's like, I want to go to this one spot where they kind of like come out into this ag field. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, I think I told him to use my rubber boots because I have my rubber boots with me. He said, nah. He's like, I ain't gonna have to walk through water. I'm just gonna wear my lace ups. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna walk this other way. There's an old field right there. We're gonna slip down the edge of it and try to get further back or along the slough and try to find some sign. Dude, I don't go like 40 yards. I got a phone call from him, and he's like, hey, I'm coming back. I'm like, what's up? He's like, dude, there's too much water. I can't even think about crossing.
flooded.
Yeah, it was flooded out. And I'm like, all right. So we ended up slipping together. And actually, the first day we actually hunted together, kind of, at least walking in. We started walking down the edge, found tons of tracks, one little scrape, some guys pop-up blind that's kind of tucked up in the slough. And there's a little peninsula of timber kind of jutting out to this old field. And Tom was like, I'm going to climb that. And we walked up to it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to climb right here. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to keep on working down, try and find something else. So he climbs up in the tree. You ain't in the tree for like 15 minutes. I've only gone like 100 yards from him, 250 yards. I'm slip hunting, like with my saddle stuff, trying to find a tree to get in. That looks good. And he's like, oh man, there's already 2 does in the field. Oh man, he texts me. He's like, I think there's a buck out here making a rub. I can see a sapling.
Yeah, that sucker was
Jumping around.
going
Oh,
all
no
over
way.
the place. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you climbed up and like you couldn't see a whole bunch of it, but you had like little windows.
I had windows. And it was tall, overgrown field. But when I saw that sapling right next to those does shaking, I was like, because you can't see the buck yet. So I'm thinking in my head, oh, it's a giant, it's a giant, it's a giant. And then like another 5 minutes later, the does pop back out into a little opening. And then I see a little fork buck.
Oh,
He was shaking that tree for no reason.
Yeah, he was making a rub. But anyways, he's
He's
texting
like, I'm the man,
He's,
girls.
dude, he's texting me all this stuff. I'm slipping through. There's wood ducks everywhere. Dude, there was so many wood ducks, fox squirrels, and I'm like, dude, I'm not finding anything. Like, I'm literally, I walk all the way to the end of the field, and like, kind of still slipping along the slough, and I haven't found nothing. I've gone 300 something, maybe 300 yards. I haven't found anything. Like, very few tracks, no buck sign, no rubs, no scrapes. One little tiny pile of droppings that were fresh, but just not much. I'm like, this is terrible. Like, this is just not great. So I ended up slipping around, kind of going around the edge of the field and getting this spot. And Thomas texts me. I ended up sitting on a spot, kind of watching the river. And he texts me. He's like, "There's a giant in the field." Actually, I think he said there's more does coming out, but he's like, "There's a giant in the field." And I'm like, "No way." And anyways, he's dealing with that. So I start slipping down the side of the field, and I start having a bunch of does pop out. And some time goes on. This is early. This is like, it don't get dark there like 7. This is like 5 o'clock maybe, 4:45, 5 o'clock. And this old boy, he texted. He's like, he's gonna get in the opening. He's walking towards an opening where these does are coming through. Like, these does are like popping out.
All right, hold on. I want to hear. Wait, okay. So as soon as you climb up, you start seeing deer.
Yep.
How long until between when you climb up do you see the big buck?
No, it was like, so we saw the big buck stepped out at like 5:40.
Okay.
I saw those first deer at like right before 5. Right.
Yeah, 4 something.
Yeah, like 4 something. So it was probably an hour, and the whole time within the hour span before I saw the buck, those deer were going back and forth. Like, I saw them that whole hour.
So they were already they were in the field.
Oh yeah,
Like that was their bedding area.
yeah, like,
Oh,
and
sick.
we found out later on in the afternoon, deer were coming from all directions, swarming into that overgrown field.
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I don't know how, I didn't count how many deer
It
I
was a
saw,
lot.
but in the teens.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Were they feeding out in it, or you think?
I think they were all going towards ag at some point, at least heading that direction. So I think they were like that staging area where they might be browsing on some stuff in that overgrown field.
They were probably browsing, but it was a bunch of just like Johnson grass and stuff. Like, I didn't see anything worth any kind of quality browse.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I think they were just hanging out right in there.
yeah, there were some oaks along the edge of the field. I'm sure they were feeding in, but all the ones he was seeing were like in the field or like on the far edge of the field. So I'd slipped around. I ended up getting back on like a little logging trail, and I was just slipping down the edge of that. Not the field's like off the edge of that little logging trail, but I was down the logging trail. I ended up sitting on that logging trail, had 3 or 4 does come off the riverside, across into cross that little log road into the field. And I'm like, yeah, at this point, this is when he texted me that he had a giant in the field. So I'm like, I'm not shooting one of these does and screwing him up. 'Cause I'm like, I'd love to shoot a doe, but I'm like, I'm not going to shoot one of these does. So I just like sat there with my gun. I'm sitting on the ground, and dude, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear, "Kadoom!" And I'm like, huh? I'm like, I was praying. I was like, please. Before he shot, I was like, hopefully Thomas gets a shot at this deer and he can kill this deer and redeem himself, all that kind of stuff. And
And to go back a little bit, when I first texted him as giant, this deer was walking straight away from me. And you might as well times the deer size by 2 or 3 when they're walking straight away.
oh, you know, you're jumping across in the story. Because I didn't know nothing about this until we met up later that evening.
Yeah.
But like, you shot the deer finally got to that opening, right?
Yeah, finally he walked another probably 150 yards down the field, working the same way all the other deer were heading, and got into an opening. I get settled, and I actually was resting on one of those branches, and I shoot, smoke, can't see anything. Once it clears, he's like 20 yards closer to me, kind of quartering towards me.
Yes. But it also goes into something. So he shoots that first time, and like 10 seconds, no, not even 10 seconds, no.
Oh yeah, I call you.
Yeah, like 10 seconds goes by, he calls me, and I pick up the phone, and I'm like, hello? And all of a sudden it goes click, and I'm like, oh, that's not good. So I'm sitting there, dude. I put my fingers in my eardrums. I'm sitting here just like this. So I'm like, all right,
I'm
here
over
it
there
comes.
packing powder.
Dude, I'm like,
You plugged your ears?
yeah, dude, I'm like, he's shooting like, we're not terribly far from each other. I'm like, dude, he's out here somewhere. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh God, like here comes. I'm like, please just kill this deer.
Yep.
And then I just hear boom, and I'm like, I had my gun ready. I'm like, maybe he'll pop out somewhere right here. I had my gun ready, hammer cocked. I'm like, listen. I'm like, I don't hear anything running. I kept listening. I don't hear nothing. I don't see nothing. I'm like, okay.
But I knew from both shots I did hit him because with the muzzleloader, it sounds like you're hitting a tree. Like it's different than a rifle though, because you can't really hear it as the shooter. I feel like when I shoot like my 270, when I shoot a deer,
Yeah,
maybe a
same.
guy outside, but with a muzzleloader, it was like I shot and then like that 2x4 smack.
Yeah.
Both times I'm like, there's no trees behind him, so I have to be hitting something solid,
Yeah.
which was him.
But he ran 20 yards. You ended up getting another shot.
Yep.
So explain to me like what happened. So like how was he facing when you first shot him?
He was facing right and might have been quartered away. But from my angle, he was definitely quartered away from after we found the entry and exit.
Yeah.
But from my angle, it looked like he was perfectly broadside.
So he was like kind of slightly quartered away. He wasn't like hard.
No.
Okay.
No.
And so you shoot. What's he do?
Well, I didn't. So after I shot, the next time I saw him,
He appeared somewhere else.
appeared 20 yards closer towards me, quartering towards me at that point. But he's just standing there. And I really felt like I did hit him, which I did, because the way he was standing there, he wasn't really looking around. He was just like froze, kind of ears tucked. And I pack a reload again, get on him, and he's at 160. Remember, I sighted my gun in for 50 yards. So I was aiming like top of the back.
Yeah.
At that spot. So I reload, get back on him. He's not moving, but he's quartering towards me at this time. Shoot. I hear the same 2x4 thud, but he didn't move from that spot. I shot him the second time. He didn't move a step.
He just took it.
Like a
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Yep. And he was just standing there. And then I did actually.
Well, you standing there. Why did you not shoot him a third time?
I had powder and primers, but that bullet, because I had normally carried 3 with me, the bullet that normally is in my bag wasn't in my bag because when I reloaded the morning before, I never put a new
After
one
your
back.
buddy clicked on the dough.
Yeah, I never put another one in.
So he's sitting there ammo-less.
And he's just standing there broadside at like 150.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Standing there, and probably 2-3 minutes later, he lays down with his head on the ground, not up. And I was like, oh, he's done. Same mental thing. But then I was watching with my binos. He would pick his head back up, flick his ears, lay it back down. And this was at like 6:20, 6:30.
Yeah, well, you called me. You're like, hey, he's like laying down. I'm like, all right, cool. So I started slipping up that little logging road. I ended up bumping deer that were like between me, like in the edge of that field, and they took off running across that field. So I was like, called him. I was like, did he move? And he's like, no, he's just laying right there.
Yeah.
So they just kept running. I was like, and you dropped your binos.
Yeah. Dropped my binos and my...
Dude,
I climbed down my tree twice.
Dude, he dropped his binos twice out of the tree.
Thomas,
And my muzzleloader...
get it together.
Hey, are those Diamondback binos, Vortex Diamondback binos, still pretty good?
Yeah, they work great.
Them suckers are tough, boy.
And I was up that tree too, because I had to see down into that overgrown field. So yeah, I was looking with my binos because I have some knockoff scope on my muzzleloader.
Yeah, you do.
And like you can't see crap because my binos are more zoom than my scope.
Yeah, 10 hours.
Yeah. So I climbed down, grabbed my binos, climbed back up, but when I was climbing up, they fell in my pack. I get all the way back up the tree, clip in. I'm like, okay, binos, they're not there. I'm like, I climb back down, get back up, because he stood. Okay, so, but the first time I climbed down, he's standing up. I mean, he's laying down. Climb back up, he's standing up. Right, he's back up. When I climb back down and grab my binos, I don't see him again, and it's at that gray light to where it's kind of hard to see him, anyways.
Yeah.
So me and Jacob were just. I called Jacob one more time, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna climb down."
No, I told you let's back out
Yeah.
because the way he was like, I'm like, you hit him. Like I could that time when I was close enough, I could hear him shoot. I could hear him
Right.
hit it. So I'm like,
I knew I hit him. But
I'm like, you hit him. You probably hit him twice. Deer's dead, but let's not go busting in there and potentially push him out into one of these sloughs or something that's gonna be super hard to recover him.
yeah, because you wouldn't be able to find him.
But this is the funny part. So I walk back to the truck. I get back before him because like I'm already on the like I don't have to pack any of this stuff up. I'm just like walking. I get back. I change out to my tennis shoes, get all comfy, and I'm like standing there. I'm waiting for Thomas. And if I see his headlight coming, I'm like, all right, here he comes. And because he texts me, this is a giant. Okay, I'm thinking for this area, 130 to 140, 135, 140 inch deer. And I get back, I'm like, how big's that deer? Like, you said it was giant. He's like, oh, he's like top 3 of my biggest bucks I ever killed. And I'm like, and I know what he's killed. He's killed some really nice deer, but I'm like, okay. I'm like, how's it compared to your Arkansas buck from last year? He's like, oh, he's not that big. I'm like,
You gotta overhype the situation when you're hunting with your buddy. You gotta get everyone amped up, ready to go.
I agree with that. He's normally the hype man for everything except deer.
Yeah.
Jacob doesn't hype anybody over deer for some reason.
Yeah, because it was getting me fired up. I was
I texted him. I'm like, calm down. Like, hope you get a shot, dude. Like, relax. But I mean, he's a good shot. So I'm like, if he had time and the deer wasn't spooked and he's just out there milling around, like, Thomas made a good shot. But anyway, we backed out. I gave him crap about that. I'm like, because I was like, you and Andrew have a lot in common about what y'all call giants. Is Andrew get a flashlight? He said it was a giant. I'm like, was it?
Does it have a frame?
Is it a rack buck or not? And then is he a little rack buck, a medium, or a big rack buck?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's our Alabama coming out.
Yeah, but anyway, so we get back, we drive back to the house, the cabin we stayed in, and then there was supposed to be. So this next day is Friday, and there was rain supposed to come in. Originally on Thursday, it said rain. It was like 25% chance of rain Friday, and it was like 80% Saturday. So we go to bed. I wake up at like 5 o'clock, maybe just before 5, and I'm like, let me check the radar real quick. Pulled the weather up because we were going to go back there to that same spot and hunt, try to let me kill a doe or something before we bounce and go get his deer. And I pulled the radar up, and there was a huge storm coming. I mean, dude, it wasn't far. It was probably 30, 40 miles from us. I'm like, I was like, got him up or what he got up. I was like, dude, we got to go right now. We're not hunting. We're taking the lights and we're going to go find that freaking buck.
Find it in the morning in the dark.
In the dark. Cause I'm like, he's dead. Like, he's right there dead, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to bump. I didn't want to bump him the night before in case, he wasn't dead quickly. So we fly down there. It's starting to rain on us while we're driving. I got my rain jacket. He's got his rain jacket. We hop out. And I'm like, let's grab our lights, get our rain jacket, and let's go. And then we hopped out, walked over, got into the spot roughly where we thought the deer was. He had pins on it. We get in there, and everything's chest high. And then you get into like a little spot, and it's like knee high. I'm like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
And then chest high, and you're getting soaking wet because everything's soaking wet right now because it's been raining. Plus the rain's coming down. You're just like, your torso's dry with the rain jacket. Your pants are soaking wet. And we get in that spot, and all of a sudden, Bloodhound Myers over here.
I put that nose up.
Where he's like, I smell him.
I know he's close.
Yeah, he's like, I can smell him. And I was like, I smell him too. Okay, I smell him. And I'm like, okay, you go that way, I go this way. And we kind of split up for a second, right there around where he dropped the pin at. And I don't walk, kind of like a repeat of him finding my deer. I don't walk 5 yards and he's laying right there dead. I mean, just sprawled out dead. And I'm like, hey, got your buck. And I was like, sweet. And dude, I was like, man, this is crazy, man. And anyway, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a nice deer. When y'all sent me the pictures of it, dude, it was a nice deer.
Yeah.
Split brows.
Yeah.
So he's a 10-point.
Yeah.
8-point with split brows. I've never seen split brows from someone that I personally know has killed one. I mean, Michael Perry probably is, but his is a crazy deer. But like one that I actually recovered in the field was the first time I've ever seen true split brows. And dude, it was awesome.
Yeah. That was a fun hunt. Had to wait a while, but it was fun.
Yeah. And I'm like, he's dead. I'm like, dude, you hit him. Like, I heard you. I'm like, he's going to be dead. As long as something does not bump him, he's going to be dead within 50 yards of that spot.
Yeah.
Because it's the best cover. Kind of the same situation my deer, like when he ran into that, which mine probably died running. But like he's already in the best cover. He's not going to leave that in something that intentionally scares him out of it.
It's like right when I got up the second time the night before when I shot him, and I didn't see him. I should have been able to see him. I kind of had that feeling where he probably just laid back down right there. And we were just going to find him, and that's basically what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and like even on But how did you end up hitting him? What did you gut shoot him,
Oh.
or did you like go up all through the chest cavity? Like,
This is the funny. It's not funny. This is an interesting part of the story. So we get him and we roll him over, and Thomas is like, "Yeah, I shot him the first time on the right hand side." I'm like, "Okay." We roll him over on the right hand side. There is not a hole in the deer. Not a hole in the deer. Not literally. We're looking at him. I'm dragging my hand, and even when we start cleaning him, there's not a hole in the right hand side of the deer.
what?
Or yeah, because he's walking to Andrew Thomas's right. So anyway, there's not a hole, and we flip him over to the left side, and he's got a hole mid body, kind of like liver. Not we're super far back, but like right there at the liver. There's a hole there, and then he's got a hole like right in the bottom of his shoulder, like right where that shoulder, like right above where it meets the leg, right there through the chest cavity. He's got a hole.
Like half an inch higher, it's heart.
Yeah, I mean, he got in the chest cavity for sure. But anyways,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you hit him both on the left side, and he's like, I didn't hit. He's like, I shot him on the right hand side. The first shot left, and I was like, I don't know. Well, he's dead. Like, who cares? Well, we go back and clean the deer, take him back to his buddy's house, hung him up because it was raining, and I'm like, I'm not cleaning him outside. Let's go put him in a pole barn and get the gambrel all set up. And we're cleaning him, and I'm like, well, while we're cutting him up, I'm like, I don't see any evidence of where he was hit on the right hand side of the deer until we get all the shoulders off, the back straps off, the neck, head, everything, neck roast, all that, like neck meat. And we start working on the hind quarter, and we cut all the way up the hind quarter, and he peels it off, and he's like, oh, here's the hole. And it was literally in the hind quarter on the right hand side of the deer. Deer was quartered a lot more than probably it seemed.
Oh,
And he hit it through the hind quarter, and it came out mid body on him.
whoa,
Yeah.
dang!
I mean, blew right through him, dude. Nasty exit hole.
Yeah.
and what muzzleloader bullet was that? That's impressive.
I'm telling you, those 330 grain ELR power belts are legit.
50 caliber.
50 caliber. 330 grains. I like the heavier bullet. And dude, I mean, it ripped him up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it went.
It still confused me on how far back I hit him
Yeah.
compared to in my head where I was.
Was he
aiming.
walking when you shot?
No.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know. Could that be a muzzleloader accuracy thing? I don't know. I'm not very
No,
experienced.
but
with muzzleloader.
it doesn't matter about that necessarily. I mean, it could be that, or just me and Thomas get pretty fired up when deer step out. Like it just is. Like, listen, like you can go shoot as much as you want, okay, at the range. You'll never have at the range you'll have the mechanics down, but if you can't control yourself in those high intensity moments, it kind of goes out the window a little bit. Like you get the mechanics down, but dude, heart's racing, blood's pumping. Like, dude, I get fired up, he gets fired up, you get fired up. So it's like a different kind of circumstance. But the thing is, he was definitely, for the pass through, the deer was quartering further away than probably he's seen, because there's no way he was broadside or barely quartered, and it would go in the hind quarter and it would come out mid body on the other side.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Interesting.
so, but yeah.
So it was 2 lethal shots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So he was dead on the first shot. Second shot, good measure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, I mean, just a tough sucker. He stunk, dude. His tarsal gland stunk. I was like,
Getting going.
I'm like, listen, this heavy acorn year might have him feeling pretty
I'm
good.
feeling a little frisky.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's crazy, I still go back to this, and this I wanted to talk about this on the show. That hunt showed me that just focusing on good habitat and not worrying so much about the sign
Yeah.
is so critical. Because, like, dude, I walked all the way around pretty much the whole field, and other than finding a few tracks, I never found anything that was like, oh yeah, there's definitely bucks in here. And he's seen another buck in there.
saw
He saw
three
three
or
or four bucks, rack bucks in there. That was the biggest one he shot. But they were just all stacked in that. And it was like the best cover, best habitat diversity was right there. And the deer were just in or around it. And I'm sure if you would walk through there, I mean, you would have to have a disposable pair of clothes because you're not going to pick all the burrs off of them. You would probably find more rubs and scrapes in and around that stuff.
Yeah.
But because we weren't walking out into it until we recovered the deer, like we didn't know, like I didn't know there was any sign of any bucks in that area.
Yeah. Okay. So all the sign was basically just concentrated into the areas where you really didn't need to walk because you'd be blowing all the deer out.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
But if you didn't know it was there, you'd probably
You would have left.
left.
I guarantee. Like,
wow.
like if it was for him sitting there, I would have literally walked back to the truck and like gone to a different spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the kind of podcast I like, man. It's deer season. Everyone's had some good hunts.
Yep.
Round table. Hopefully we do a couple more of these this year. So biggest takeaways, Thomas, from this one for you?
Just going with your instincts on spots, especially if you have history with them, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Going back into pieces that you know and have deer.
Yeah. Well, also, I'll say this, and Andrew, I told you this, and I've told Thomas this too. I feel like Thomas, as a deer hunter, is really good going off like instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has a gut feeling about a certain spot, and 9 times out of 10, he's right. Like he sees and gets on deer.
Mm-hmm.
But like me, I have to like try to prove it to myself instead of like, just like find a spot like, oh yeah, this looks good. I'll climb right here. Especially like on a gun hunt, it's a little bit different bow hunting. I feel like you just need to find a little more concentration sign, but like with a muzzle or a rifle, you can reach out there, you can hunt some good cover. I think that's where he shines, and that's like where he had a lot of success on this hunt, always getting on deer just by kind of gut feeling going into certain spots. And that's like one of those things you can't teach it. Like you kind of got to like just trial and error, figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yep.
But it works really well for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that people are going to see these deer on the Hunt Kitchen soon,
Yep.
right? Give yourself a plug.
Yep. Started the Hunt Kitchen in May, and we do all wild game recipes. Post, a couple times a week. So if you need new wild game recipes, go check out the page.
The Hunt Kitchen.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All kinds of stuff.
Crushing.
Yeah. Crushing it.
You probably, if you listen to this podcast, you've probably already seen some of his things. If
Yeah,
you're on
y'all share it a
Instagram,
lot. So
places.
thank you all for getting it started, sharing it.
Dude, you did that. Me and you went squirrel hunting a couple weeks ago, and I mean, just tore them up.
Yeah,
son.
that was such fun.
Tore them up. We killed like, between the three of us that were out there, we killed like, what, 20 something squirrels? Almost a 3-man limit. And you went and made you some squirrel gumbo. That one blew up.
It was so good.
It got like, what, 2.5 million views or something?
Yeah.
That's
on
silly.
Facebook.
Yeah. Just Facebook.
That's silly.
By the way, real quick, I got a surprise for us. I got to go grab it. So y'all keep talking for a second. I got to go grab something.
Okay. I love surprises.
Got a little
my man.
early gift.
All right, what are your plans for the rest of deer season? Alabama? Or
Yeah,
what?
Alabama. I mean, Arkansas is really the only state that I've ever really gone out of state for, I think. I don't think I've ever been anywhere else. I would love to, but right now with work, really one out of state hunt a year is what I can do. But definitely Alabama, cold fronts rolling in pre-rut. So
You got some good prospects. You were sending me some pictures. You found some pretty freaking nice deer in Alabama.
yeah, found a couple pretty good spots that I hunted last year, same piece that we've all hunted, but some pretty big deer that if they don't get shot early, they're gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. Are you going to come on some of our hunts this year?
In Alabama, I want to.
Some of our camps?
Just you gotta do like
Dude, you want to hunt them? You want to hunt the place where you told me? You want to hunt there?
Yes.
I don't know if Jacob's going to go.
I want to do so. You know how y'all did it last year?
Mhm.
I want to do that, but you need to pick like if you go during the
You
week,
have to time it with a cold front.
have to, but try to get a Saturday and a Sunday in there,
Oh yeah.
just so I can get at least 2 more days off.
All right. Y'all ready?
All right, what you got? What you got?
Oh!
Oh wait, that's my buck. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Did you go by old Daniel's place, dude? I was about to text Daniel. Oh,
Look at that
sweet,
hammer.
dude. Thank you for picking that up. Daniel's gonna give me crap because I never pick up my own deer.
I saw him post September, like early September, that your deer was ready. I'm like,
Oh, I did not. I didn't see that.
dang, it's been a month.
Daniel, you gotta text me, dude.
No, that's
Sweet,
his
bro.
policy. He don't post it on social media.
Oh, dude, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, he turned out awesome.
Dude, I was just editing this video this morning for this Kansas hunt. So this is the deer I killed in Kansas last year. We go 8 point, and this video is gonna be out. It might already be out. It's done. We're recording this on what is it, Monday?
Yeah.
I gotta tidy up a couple things on it, but we're gonna get it posted for everybody to see. So y'all be watching the YouTube channel for the hunt where I killed this buck in Kansas, and Jacob almost killed a really nice buck. Got some really good footage of a big old buck. So, anyways, cool, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought you were bringing something for Thomas. Dude, he got me good.
Yeah.
Good. Sweet, man. Appreciate it. Time to go get me another taxidermy field. All right, man. Well, cool. All right, so Thomas is gonna go hunt
Yeah, I
the
heard that.
place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard that. Sweet.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right, y'all got anything else?
No, appreciate everybody watching the podcast. Thank y'all for listening. We'll catch you back in the next episode from the Southern Outdoorsman podcast. And remember, guys, y'all stay Southern.